Alright, so we're live. I'm starting a little earlier than usual. I would have liked to start even earlier, but well, what can you do? But in any case, I wanted to end the stream a little earlier than usual as well, just so I have a little more time to get to bed and everything. I do like to kind of wind down without streaming before I go to bed, and tomorrow is a work day. But today I wanted to finish up this event. I have bought out everything. I don't think I'll buy the mana prisms. I'd rather get the QP. And I've completed all the missions and I just have the challenge quest to do in order to get the lore. Now, I know that I looked up the boss and I did the boss in my KR account, but I don't remember it that well. I mean, I do remember what it was and everything, but I didn't remember the exact order. So it's Assassin, Rider, and Caster after the Archer, of course. So I have a team kind of set up. But I'm not sure who I want to take as my support, because I could bring somebody who could just blow shit up and then leave. But I already have 3 damage dealers in my team already, so I think a support might be more effective and more fun. So, given that the first 2 are Assassin and Rider, I guess Assassin? I could try bringing Osakabe Hime if I have a friend support who has that, because she is a support, and I basically never use her. I can't remember the last time I used her in a quest without it being forced upon me. Kama is pretty selfish from what I can tell. She does provide buffs to the NP that's not a very good Osakabe Hime. Especially since I think Osakabe Hime is a lot about her NP, and the fact that that NP isn't buffed is not great. I could also take Jack. She's a semi-support, provides a lot of crit stars, and also heals. Very short cooldown heals. So I'm thinking that I haven't taken out Skahach in a while, so I'm bringing her here, and I think it'll be fun to see what she can do. I'm giving her a golden sumo so that it doesn't take forever to get her NP charge up. My hope is that either she or Mosh will die. I can kind of help Mosh along with the taunt, and that'll bring out Mecha Liz, who will destroy shit. And then at the very end, since the enemy is a caster, I figure the event buffed his name Sakamoto Ryoma will be able to take care of it if it comes down to it, even though he's not a very defensive character at all. I don't think he has a single defensive skill, but he can do a lot of damage quickly, and I think that's what I'll need out of him. And I do have the Mystic Code to help if needed. I generally don't use those heals or dodges that often. Maybe I'll. What's the cooldown on these actually? I should check. Alright, there's all this defense buff thing, which I think I can just time. Okay. Oh, 11. 11. Okay, so the defensive ones are 11 turn cooldown. So, given that this is a challenge quest, which can take a good number of turns, if I use it early, but could be worth it to at least the dodge. It's pretty important to have it ready when you need it. But the heal, if I use it early to just help top somebody off, that could pay dividends, and then I can still have it off cooldown when I really need it. Okay, nice. I think I'll go ahead and use or save Skahawk's NP for Nobu's NP. Nobu does have an NP charge skill. It's unfortunate that her NP gain up skill translates to an NP charge skill, but what can you do? I really can't think of another way that they could have translated it properly. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of damage anyway, so I guess I'll just go straight up NP charge for Mosh. And Mosh does have a command code that will heal friendlies. So Skahak just got back 200 HP, which is nice. Yeah, I've been trying to play around a little bit more with the command codes. Oof, a lot of damage, but if she eats it at some point, that would be okay. Bring out my Mecha Liz. If I use the Arts Chain, I think that's the way to go. Skahak doesn't need the NP charge at all, of course, but Merlin certainly could use it. And I want to use Mosh's NP right now. Not just in case, but I think it would certainly help if Nobu decides to charge her NP right now and then use it. But even if not, it's saving me basically a whole turn of damage, right? You can see, yeah, I barely took any damage. Now time to use Kahak's NP. Really blow shit up. But actually... Oh, it's permanent, huh? Oh, it's removed only when she breaks her bar and such. Okay, in that case... I want to use that Arts Chain. That Arts Chain is very attractive. So... Do I use it? Yeah, I'll do it. So I'll use the Invul to just survive that NP. And Mosh will provide a little more healing, which... Yeah, that... Actually, given how often you use her arts cards when you do use her, having that healing... If I put healing on the other one as well instead of the damage cut that I do have, she could be not a great healer, but certainly somebody who plays a significant role in the healing in a fight. That said, her damage reduction ability already does that quite well, doesn't it? The crit stars that I have, I'm not liking, so I don't think it's worth using Merlin's. Yeah, I'll use the Brave Chain. Actually, I should have gone Buster Quick Buster instead of Buster Quick Quick. Even though the Quick card is 50% buffed in damage, it's still weaker than a regular Buster card. That's how weak Quick is among the cards. But that said, I guess using the Quick card did provide a little bit extra NP gain and a little bit extra crit star drops. Yeah. Ultimately, her Quick card, even though it has so many fewer hits than her Buster card, it still generates more NP and creates more crit stars, even with an Arts starter or a Quick starter in the latter case. Just because of the innate fact that Quick gets those just to begin with. Yeah, it's kind of a common misconception, actually, that the fact that Skahak has something like 6 hits on her Buster card makes it so that her Buster card is better than her Quick card for things like NP gain or crit star drop. And it's an understandable one, because the fact that her Buster card does have 6 hits means the NP gain and the crit star drop rate of those are incredibly high compared to most other characters' Buster cards. Because, especially when you consider the fact that not only do most characters' Buster cards not have 6 hits, most of them don't even have 2 hits. I think most of them. I actually haven't counted. If not most, certainly a very, very large minority. And I would almost definitely bet. I would bet that it's also a plurality, as in it's the biggest minority. There's no other minority that's bigger, but I believe that amount of Buster cards, amount of servants in the game have Buster cards that have exactly 1 hit. Yeah, I'm not super confident on either of them, but yeah, if I had to bet, I'd bet on that. Whereas, yeah, again, Skahak has 6 times that, so that's a big buff. If you know a lot about the, and even if you don't know a lot, if you know just a little bit about how the various systems in this game work, you understand that, as well as the different stats in the game, you understand that a 600% or 500% buff, I guess, 600% multiplier is ginormous. Oh, hello, Nat. Thank you for coming by. Well, as you can see, I'm taking care of Nobu here in my NA account. I don't remember. Have you already done this already? That's the Department of Redundancy Department. My favorite department. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing this in my NA account again after having done it in my Korean account. This is the last day I can do it, and I finished up the rest of the event. But anyway, I was just opining about the fact that Skahaks, maybe not opining, but just, yeah, I guess opining is the right term. Talking about the fact that Skahak and Buster cards have a lot of hits, 6 hits compared to a regular, the typical Buster card, which has 1 hit. I'm not sure if I can survive this. Who can survive this? Mecha Ellie-chan can probably survive this and then NP right away after. Yeah. If I give her... Whereas, I'm okay with Skahak dying. She's done her job. Merlin, that's the one I'm really... Well, he has class advantage. That's actually pretty huge in this situation. Yeah, he does have class advantage, which means I don't want to break her bar this turn. So... I'll go ahead and use the evade on. Then maybe I'll do that. Oh, you're rushing to finish it? Okay, good luck. It's way less of a grind than CCC, even though it has very similar mechanics, right? It's also a mission event, and it's also got this whole enemy multiplier thing, but it's actually way less of a grind. It's much shorter. Maybe not much shorter, but it's certainly shorter. Oh wow, Skahak actually tanked it. Oh well, she didn't tank the whole thing. Skahak, I guess, one thing about Skahak, which I guess is probably a fairly common knowledge. She has a relatively high HP stat and a relatively low attack stat for a 5-star Lancer. And that is okay with her because her multiplier on her NP does have the interlude buff. And also the fact that... Do I go for the Brave Chain with Merlin? Or do I go for the Arts Chain? What's the overcharge on Mecha Elise-chan's NP? Remove defense, but... Oh, her NP would actually remove their defense buff, but that would provide a buff to Nobu. Decreased defense would be nice. I don't need to use Mecha Elite-chan's NP right now. Yeah, let's try going ahead and using the Arts Chain. Try to overcharge her NP. Yeah, CCC event was, yeah, and you saw what, in my case, I didn't even finish it. But in any case, it's nice to get this done and over with. I don't know if I'll use the lore right away. I don't know how many lores I have in my NA account now. It's pretty similar to my Korean account. It should be around 6 or 7, maybe 5. Ugh. Man, and I didn't even break her bar. Alright. Time to break her bar now, I guess. But I'm worried that Jack won't even survive until next turn, even if I heal her. So I'll use the dodge on her. That'll provide a little buff to her crit star drops because... But do I want to just try to charge up Merlin's NP? That might actually be better. No. I think I'll go ahead and try using her. And I'll try to, yeah, she'll gain a great amount of NP charge here. I actually don't know how much. 32 to, okay. Well, at least 67. Because she went from 32 to 100%. So yeah, that's a pretty great amount of NP charge, I'm sure. Anyone who knows much about the game would agree about that. Oh, huh. Okay, so Mecha Elichan is close to death, but that's okay because I can have her blow up. I can use both their NPs now. That wouldn't be too bad. I'm out of ways to protect Mecha Elichan other than her defense buff. Well, I can use Merlin's invul, but I'd rather save that. But then again, Merlin might die very soon anyway. Because, well, he has class disadvantage. It really takes one hit. One crit, maybe 2 hits. So maybe I should just go ahead and use his skills. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Because this fight is close to over. Yeah. So what I'll do is use his skills. And I'll use Jack's NP actually. Because with the anti-female buff, even without having any sort of event buff, I think she might out damage Mecha Elichan. Oh, near replicant, right. I saw some streamers playing that on Thursday. That's great. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. It looks like I mean, maybe not my type of game, but it looks like a pretty like great game. Just very well made, very beautiful, right? And the action from what I've seen, which is pretty little to be honest, but what I've seen from streamers and stuff, it's looked really good. Just again, probably not my thing. Okay, so I can get Merlin's NP up next turn. Jack's NP, I could. I don't have any of Mecha Elichan's cards up there. So I guess I'll use Mecha Ellie's NP now. She's close to death, but if she dies, I think that's okay overall. Yeah, I can live with that. And I'll go with that, and I'm pretty sure Jack will get her NP up. Listen to the OST. Yeah, I have heard some of the music from streams, and yeah, it sounds really good. I agree. I could probably check out the actual OST maybe during a stream. Yeah, actually, I could probably do that because it's a video game soundtrack. I like to generally try to use video game music when I do actually put music up, which is not often. I usually like to just do no music. I'm not a big music listening person. But sometimes I do like to mix it up just because doing a lot of the same farming and such in these games can be very repetitive. I mean, they are very repetitive, so having a little bit extra diversity in the music can help. Even though Genshin Impact, FGO, these games do have good music, I would say. Genshin Impact in particular. It's like FGO doesn't have bad music by any stretch. It doesn't even have mediocre music. It has good music, maybe even great at times. But Genshin Impact, I would say, really has great music. And I really can't explain it because, again, I'm not a big music person, both in terms of listening to it and in terms of just kind of understanding why good music sounds good and bad music sounds bad. Oof, okay. Actually, Sakamoto Ryoma might not be able to pull this off. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure he won't be able to because even if he manages to kill her... Oh, actually, if he does kill her this turn, then we win. But that's the only way. So this is Death or Glory. There's no... See, and I don't have any command codes. So those blue cards are equivalent. Oh yeah, you're probably listening to them? Okay, nice. So let's see if Ryoma can pull this off, please. You got the damage buff. You're NP5. I gave you 9, 10, 9 skills. I spent a lore on you for your NP charge skill. Please, please, please. Come through for me. This is what you were supposed to do. Yes! Okay, thank you. Sakamoto Ryoma pulls it off. That was exactly what you were supposed to do. I was so worried because those crits from Nobu were just absolutely killer. Even with class advantage, you can see how little HP he had, and that's after Merlin's HP charge, I believe, from his NP. Oof, but okay, nice. I got the lore. You really like Ryoma animation? Oh yeah, me too. I agree. They're especially because his wife is a big part of them. His NP too is quite pretty. I'd say it's way better. Maybe not way better, but I like it better than the actual dragon guys, which is what's his name, Siegfried or Sieg. Both of them I don't think have. I guess they at least Siegfried got upgrades, and Sieg's isn't bad actually. Yeah, Sieg's isn't bad at all, but I like Sakamoto Ryoma's better. Oh wow, I have 9. I didn't realize. Oh, thank you, by the way. But yeah, I didn't realize I had this many. Now, I do try to spend the lores on characters that I don't have on my other account. That's generally my priority. As well as obviously waifus over husbandos. I could finish off her. But it would be nice to get her up. Oh, 666, that'll be nice. You prefer Sieg's wife? Yeah, same here. Same here. She prefers me too, I think. At least by... if my gacha history is anything to go by. Alright, so I got to use one. So she's one step closer to getting finished. 999. I'm also tempted to spend a lore on him at some point because he does seem very useful. It's just I haven't used him all that much. So I don't have still don't have that great of a sense of just how good he can be and how to use him. Oh, should I spend? Well, anyway, I can take care of that later. I'm gonna, switch over to Genshin because I wanted to do some farming. I didn't get that much of a chance to play yesterday, actually. I was somewhat busy because I had softball practice and then I had a barbecue, actually. It was a very beautiful day, turned out. So, that was nice. And then my roommate and UFC mixed martial arts, and oh man, those were some good fights. Short, but good. And in my case, the results went the way that I would have hoped, even though I wasn't all that invested. I'm not hugely into the sport, but there are some fighters that I am a fan of, so it was nice to see them win. But yeah, because of that, didn't get to play much Genshin, so I ended up having a lot of condensed. Or I made a lot of condensed. So let's see if this... Alright, so I've disconnected my... Oh, right, okay, I'm gonna have to change my resolution. I guess when I stream, I set it to a 16:9 resolution, whereas when I just generally play, I've tried to do a more, 16:10, because my monitor itself is 16:10, and also, yeah, because of that, the 16:10 allows me to take up more of the screen. Here, actually, let's do full screen this way, then. And I also realized recently that I had been playing with my render resolution at 1.5x the whole time. Maybe not the whole time, just within at least the last couple of weeks, maybe months. Probably just the last couple of weeks, but because I have occasionally gone to check in with this. But I'm hoping that maybe setting it to something lower might allow me to... or allow the frame rate to be a little better? I don't know. Yeah, I'd say I had a good Saturday overall. Yeah, it was fun. A lot of stuff happening, but pretty busy too. You know, it's just because recently I'd been partly particularly because of the weather and work and everything, just not doing a whole lot socially and going outside. And obviously, you know, everyone knows why people wouldn't be going outside that much in recent times, even though things are getting better. So it was, yeah, pretty tiring as well, I would say. But anyway, I do have 4 condensed resin. I have enough resin for more. So what I wanted to do, also I'm gonna switch my stream stuff info. I want to do some actual artifact farming today, even though generally on Sundays it's better to spend resin on like ascension material, well not ascension, like talent or weapon material. So I'm not sure who I'm gonna farm for, so and of course I'll do more child challenge runs because I've been enjoying the hell out of that. So I've been recently going through my weapons and trying to upgrade them as much as possible, in part because well, you know, there's nothing wrong with upgrading talents and such, but I've been trying to wait until I do all my runs using the upgraded. Actually, I should level this one up. I should level her up to 666 at least. But as a healer, I guess I'd probably use that more on her. So, yeah, I'm waiting for the actual talent event, leyline overflow event before I really spend more time leveling up talents. Or farming talent books anyway. Even though there's nothing wrong with spending a few resin now, farming talent books one needs. But I figured I'd prioritize weapons for now. So it'd be nice to get her up a little further, yeah. So there's the chains. Oh, Favonius Greatsword also has the chains, and these are Wednesday items. How many of the lower rarity ones do I have? Oh, Beto to level 79. Oh, you only have 48 more. You know, you can edge her all the way to 80 just by killing enemies in your world. Thought about doing that? I've done that with a bunch of my characters. I get them up to 79 and then less than one EXP book away from 80, and then I start farming actual enemies. And that way I get them up to 80 or 70 or whatever, you know, the next cap is. So I think I can definitely get use out of farming these. So I'm gonna spend at least a couple condensed just running this one. And you know what occurred to me, one big, maybe not big, but one significant, certainly, quality of life improvement that I would like to see is on Sundays, we of course have the option of choosing whatever reward we want, right? Or whatever domain to run for the bucks, or for the talent bucks, or for the weapon ascension materials. It occurred to me when I was playing that we choose at the moment of entering the domain, right? We choose when we choose which domain to enter, and on Sundays we uniquely have just lots and lots of them. We have like a dozen instead of like the 4 difficulty levels. But instead of doing it that way, I think it'll be better if after you do a run on in the domain, when you're picking up your stuff, that's when from the tree, that's when you choose which reward you want. I think that'll be much more convenient because then you have fewer lines to scroll through. And who would be a good support for Ganyu in this case? Maintenance. Oh, I think it'll be fun to go Pyro actually. Yeah, and it, you know, if you change your mind, which I mean, I can't imagine that being very often, but sometimes maybe, who knows? That's also better. Because it's not like the quest changes. It's always the same for the same difficulty. It's just the reward that changes. So put that change at the very end, which is the only time it really matters anyway, right? But again, it's minor. It's not a huge quality of life change, but I feel like it would be pretty significant to have something like that. And I don't know how hard it would be to implement according to the in-game, like, how the game has been programmed. So, you know, maybe it's more difficulty than it's worth. Well, people in miHoYo might know. I imagine miHoYo's on top of things enough that they have some people who would be thinking about this kind of thing. Even if, you know, obviously they haven't implemented it. Right? Not yet, anyway. But given also how well they've done, you know, I always do like to try to give them props anytime I also criticize them, because in general, this game, how they've done in terms of designing it and then improving it over time. I'm not an expert of the gaming industry or anything, but to me it feels like it's very much above and beyond what I'm used to from other game developers. Beto, level 80 Claymore. 12 artifact. Okay, so you still have room for improvement. That's nice. 50% ER? Okay, that's a nice nice number for her. Percent crit rate. Oh, 50% crit rate. That's very good to have at that point. Especially, well, so you have the BP weapon on her, which provides a lot of crit rate, right? Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about my Chi-Chi, that because I have the crit rate sword on her, even though I don't try to build her crit rate at all, she ends up just naturally having a high crit rate. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll probably get artifacts that are good for her along the way, right? Because if you use her as a support, you probably want double Electro and double Noblesse or something like that, right? I think that's probably how I would build her. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like Noblesse would probably be very important on her. Because that's why you bought every BP weapon. Yeah. It's really... I'll be honest, I don't feel that bad about it. But I do regret accidentally buying the same BP weapon. Just because I didn't know the interface and I was just... I don't know what's the right term is. Just too naive or too lazy to look up what the actual thing was. I just assumed from looking at it that when you said press X to go to the next option, I assumed it meant delay this choice and then go to the next option instead of make this choice and go to the next option. But I've talked about this before, and yeah. Again, I do regret it, even though I'm not that broken up over it or anything like that. It's a nice weapon, and I think having 2 copies of it, until I get another very good 4-star sword of that type, I'll probably keep it separate, I think. Maybe one day you'll buy the weapon with crit damage. Yeah, I mean, crit damage is... what more can you ask for, right? That's probably, for a main DPS, the best substat to have. It'll be between crit rate and crit damage, and in my opinion, crit damage would be better just because you just go all in on the damage, and there are ways to increase crit rate without even artifacts, right? Just from... well, yeah, obviously, artifacts can help a lot, but you have other ways. Someone like Kazuha? Wait, what do you mean, like Kazuha? Does he have a crit rate or something or crit damage as a substat? Because I guess every character also has a Substat, right? Oh, I also do want to ascend this one. Get her a little extra HP. But let's see, I wanted to ascend this one. Oh, I would need to farm more of the Arasiderite. But before that... Oh, the Star Glitter as well. That one also needs that. I already have ascended this one. Favonius Greatsword is one I do want to ascend. But I think Favonius Warbow, I think this will pay dividends quickly because... I mean, Fischl is just nuts in how good she is. Like, I've talked about this before. I always knew she was good, even at whatever constellation I had her, which was 4 for a long time. It was like 1 for a long time, but I barely used her. And then at 4, I used her a bunch, and she was really good. And then at 6, it's like, what the fuck? She's so damn good. I'd never realized just how ridiculous. Okay, so I need 4 of the next one, which means I need 12, which means I need 8 more, which means I need 24, which means I need 8 more, which means I'll have exactly enough. Alright, I'll go ahead and do that. Oh, he's a swordsman, so BP will probably be good on it. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know, I'm not really looking for another swordsperson to, like, work on. Not that I have that many characters or anything, of course, but like, I could try experimenting with building Kaching Electro. That might be fun. But to be honest, I kind of enjoy the physical style. I like... Oh, huh, I didn't... I did know that these enemies are here, but I forgot about them. Like, don't get me wrong, I think my favorite probably is the whole Vaporize Melt style. And I don't have a particular preference on which is better, but I do enjoy both of them quite a bit. And not just for the big damage they put up, but obviously that helps a lot. But I do enjoy the physical style more so than Electro, I think. Just because the Electro as an element to do reactions with, I feel like Electro Charge with water can be fun when you're dealing with crowds, but overall, I don't tend to have that much of a problem keeping enemies stunned anyway. So the extra damage is good, but again, of course everyone knows they don't do that much extra damage compared to the other elements. So I feel like I'm losing out a little. And the explosion, you know, or what is it, overload, which I used to enjoy, and it's still useful in a lot of cases, like blowing up enemy shields. But it's so frustrating having to chase down enemies when you blow them away, even though it can be pretty fun to see them blow up. Oh yeah, you'll only roll for him support. Yeah, probably me too. Well, I probably won't roll for him at all unless there's something about him in the game that really draws me, because I try not to spend on husbandos. Also, unless I have 57,600 primos plus at that time, in which case I'll be like, yeah, whatever, I'll spend whatever on top of it to pull on him just to see. Because I do like his design, I like his kimono. I think it's a kimono, I'm actually not sure. It does look Japanese in style. Next Abyss will give bonus on physical attack. Oh, nice, okay. So it'll be a good opportunity for characters like Kaching or my Kaching and my Beidou to shine, I guess. Because I've decided given that I prefer playing Beidou as a DPS instead of support, I think I should go with her physical, because the Electro just wasn't doing it for me. Her auto attacks weren't doing enough damage. So I think I'll build her physical and keep going with the whole superconduct route. But in any case, yeah, that sounds nice. I'll get a nice buff. And Ganyu doesn't need any help, of course, right? Ganyu, it's like the extra physical damage doesn't do anything for Ganyu, but it's like, well, what did she need anyway? She's gonna own everything anyway. And I guess it'll help for whatever support I run her with. Oh, so because I like to run her with Chi-Chi now, for the double cryo resonance and also obviously the healing, And my Chi-Chi having the black sword means she crits very often. I think she has like a 60% crit rate. Actually, let me check. Maybe not 60%. Oh, almost 60, 57. And I've tried to build her attack. I feel like the way I'll build my Chi-Chi is go all in on attack first and then crit rate. Or actually maybe the other way around. Sorry, the other way around. I'm gonna go all in on crit rate first and then attack. And crit damage, it would be... I mean, obviously if I wanted to build her DPS, that would be my priority, but I'm not trying to build her as a DPS. I'm trying to build her as a decent healer, not a god tier healer, which she can be, which she usually is. In fact, she already is probably my best healer at her level. I figure I'll just make her a good healer and a decent sub DPS. You're Kaching, you prefer electro than physical. Yeah, is electro attack. Oh yeah? What, do you mean like using her E twice? Because, yeah, it's like, it's when you use her E twice, right, it basically does a flash step, right, which is super nice, and I do use it a lot, actually, when I play her. But it's like, I guess when you play her physical, it's not like you don't use her double E. It's just that you unfortunately do sacrifice some DPS when you use her. Yeah, and her burst too, of course. Her burst, the damage, right? It's like when you use her physical, you also do use your burst all the time. The only difference is instead of using her burst for the damage, you're using her burst for the crit rate buff. Yeah, else, but I imagine also, yeah, with the constellation, right? You have C2 Kaching. I believe every constellation, or not every, maybe, but her constellations are kind of designed around making her a electro character, which makes sense, I think. So, you know, for now, I'm definitely happy with her at physical, and I'm gonna make her, yeah, just as strong a physical damage character as I can. But I think if I were to get more constellations of her, yeah, I think if I were to get more constellations of her, I would definitely start building her electro. Because even though I'd lose out on some damage, ultimately I don't need that much damage from her. She can act as a good, like, main DPS, not like a god tier one like Ganyu, but just a good one. And just do a lot of damage. But especially since I figure by that point I'll have D-Look nice and built. And D-Look can, well, you know, do whatever he wants. In terms of DPS, he's probably my second best with potential in terms of DPS ability after Ganyu. Oh yeah, you just for this Abyss, that could be fun for you to try out. I guess that's something. If I see any place that has an electro buff, I might switch out Kaching's cup and try doing her electro. Just for that. Alright, so I still need more Aerosiderite, and so I figure the Wednesday materials are probably the best to farm, because those are the ones that I'd have to wait the most for. Anyway, so the Aerosiderite is one of them, and the chains or another. So Favonius Greatsword. Yeah, given that I don't really use him that much anyway, I'll wait on that. Instead, it's gonna be for Fischl, who I have started using more recently, especially as a support for my Beto. So I need 4 of those 5 stars, which means I believe I have just enough to make it. So let's check. So I have 4 of the 4 stars. Of according to my math from earlier, if I just... Oh, and I do have a chance to refund, huh? That'd be nice. Oh, that's a big refund. That is a big refund. 3 out of 8. Physical Zhongli, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I saw that as one of the options in that video you linked me. And it seemed like it would be fun to play, because especially since his animations look so cool. He has some of the coolest looking attack animations in the game, and that's saying something in this game. But I felt like I don't want to bother investing more into trying to get another DPS up, even though, again, he would be just another god tier DPS for me, probably. Alright, so now I'm basically out of Mora. Oh, because of the refunds, I might actually not even have to farm this one anymore. Let's see. I don't know how significant the refunds were. But, so I would need 2 more of these, which means I need 6. So I would still need to farm this more. But, again, I'm not in a hurry, that big of a hurry to build up my Changyan's weapon so much. Although this is a good weapon on a lot of Claymore users. So chunk of Erosiderite. I can definitely use a lot more of those. Right now, yikes. So I have basically the equivalent of 1 of the golds, but oh, I have 60 of those, which translates to 20 of these, which means I have 39, which means I have 13 of these, which means that, or 16 total, which translates to 5. So I would need to farm these more, even if I was concerned about only 1 of the weapons, but I also have multiple weapons that need that. Yeah, I feel like if you know, assuming I get Zhongli, which I do have a very high chance of getting Zhongli. Maybe not a very high chance, actually. It's a still less than 50-50, I think, assuming I don't go into pity, soft pity. If I do go into soft pity, then I'm guessing the odds are greater than 50-50. In any case, assuming I get him, just because I don't want to bother with more of that farming, I figure I'll just put a bunch of generic artifacts on him that are HP percentage. Use him as a shield, and then as I farm the new domain with the physical and the HP artifacts, I'll hopefully get an HP set for him and use him as a shield for my... Generally, I figure he'll be best for my Kacheng and Beidou, that set, because those guys like to fight up close and personal, which means they get exposed to a lot more damage. You replaced your ER hourglass and gave him a physical cup. Oh, huh. So you had ER on him just to use his bursts more often? That was the idea? As a support to freeze enemies? Yeah. Even with that chivalry. Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, the chivalry set gives you, what, 25%? Which is way less than the physical cup can give you. It's definitely a very big boost, but the physical cup already gets you over 50% of what you can get. Yeah. Of will. Yeah, it's really a choice that I'm making, right? Because I can get Zhongli if I want to, assuming there are no bugs or whatever, no issues in the game programming. But I think that's a pretty good assumption to make, that I won't run into any such issues. So assuming that happens, I am guaranteed a Zhongli if I choose to. It's just, do I choose to? So enemies here are Electro. I like having Cryo. Ever since I got Chi-Chi, I've noticed I haven't been using my other healers much at all. I could go triple Cryo. That could be interesting. Or let's try this actually. This could be an interesting team just because we'll get crowd control up the ass and we'll be able to move faster, I think. I think double wind gives you some slightly faster movement speed. Either that or lower stamina consumption. And we'll be critting up the ass as well because of the double cryo. So let's see how this goes. Okay. And I like having the slimes there because they're nice and big targets for Ganyu. Right. So we killed that first wave. Do I want to kill the slimes first? Or they're kind of grouped together, so might as well... Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's a good team. I didn't even use Venti at all. Yeah. And whose bursts did I... Oh, I did use Venti's burst at the very beginning. That was it. I didn't even use anyone else's bursts. For his shields and for his burst. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because... Well, from that video, you can... It seems like you can build his HP up just to crazy levels, or the HP of the shield up. So, yeah, I think it would probably make sense for me to put energy recharge on one of the stats, because the shield is already probably so good that I don't need to just go all in on HP everywhere. But I figure at least 2 out of the 3 that you have a choice for, maybe updo HP percentage, and then an energy recharge does make a lot of sense as a support. Now let's try using Ganyu's burst. And let's use Sucrose's burst. And yeah, so Sucrose's burst doesn't have quite the same crowd control ability, huh? But I mean, we knew that, right? But Ganyu doesn't need that much help destroying shit. And like I predicted, we are critting up the ass. Ah, that's cute. Hitting her in the head and getting her react like that. Alright, that one took slightly longer, but quite easy in any case. So, I think that's it for the weapon farming for now. I do want to do some more artifact farming, and the physical domain is probably not a bad one actually, because I could use Noblesse Oblige, but I don't have that much I don't have that much in terms of characters that I want to use Noblesse Oblige on right now. I want to have a set for Jingchu, definitely, because Jingchu with Noblesse Oblige just seems like an absolutely nuts support, especially for somebody like Diluc, who I got recently, and he will be built eventually. But in general, Jingchu seems like a great support anyway. But let's see, so with Chi-Chi, the amount of... Yeah, so now in terms of healers, I have Chi-Chi, Diona, Barbara, and Bennett. And out of those, I believe already Chi-Chi's the best one, but it could still be Bennett. Those 2 are my top tier, and Barbara is in the tier after that, and Diona's in the tier after that. I'm wondering, maybe it's okay not to build her up too much anymore, because I was really just focused on trying to make her into a workable healer for me. And she works, but I still find her very frustrating to work with. So for that reason, I was trying to get good maiden artifacts and such for her. Maybe it would be better to... yeah, not spend it so much on her. You always use Zhongli in double Geo teams with Albedo. Oh, yeah. That does give you extra on the shield. As well as a damage buff, right? So maybe it's time to try building up Mona again, because Mona's artifact sets are honestly, not there. I barely spent any time on her, and the time I spent on her was early on when it's not like I'm an expert at artifacts right now, but I'm a lot more knowledgeable. And Sucrose, yeah, I think Sucrose is an elemental mastery battery. It actually just works for me. And Venti has a decently high enough crit rate. It could be higher, but so I'm pretty happy with where Venti is at right now. I don't think I'll do the wind and healing domain. I don't really care for a cryo set on her. I don't need a cryo thing. Oh yeah, also, oh, not her. I'm guessing you mean you'll never regret you'll rolling for Albedo? Yeah, everything I hear about him does seem really good. Let's see. I have issues with her right now. I feel like maybe if I'm gonna actually no, I'm gonna wait for the next BP weapon so that I can use that on her. I was thinking I could use this weapon on her just for the crit rate, but actually the energy recharge would be very useful on her anyway, so go with that. But I really do want to go all in on crit rate on her. It's just I'm not sure what set I want to give her. Maybe Noblesse Oblige would be good, now that I think about it, because I'd be using her burst a lot, or as often as I can anyway, so that I can get the crit rate buff. Yeah, maybe I'll go with Noblesse Oblige on her. And I guess two-piece Berserkers and two-piece Noblesse Oblige would probably be the best for her as a support. I just can't figure out any other way to get a lot of crit rate on her from artifacts other than obviously having good stats and substats. The artifact set Berserker seems to be the only one that provides the crit rate buff. And on her, yeah, I can always use more crit rate, I guess, so the Thundering Fury Thunder Soother domain is pretty frustrating. Yeah, Noblesse would be good for Rosaria as a support. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think more I agree with that. I think you're right. So I might go ahead and farm the physical / Noblesse domain, because I think it'll be nice to get, like, I don't really care for Wanderer's Troop on, right? It's just the best ones that I had. Figure more Gladiator would be good, of course, but I'm not gonna be farming world bosses anytime soon. And her, I don't care to build her anytime soon. Oh, but maidens would... Or actually, I don't care that much about maidens for her. What would actually be good for her besides maidens? Because already, I feel like even if she loses the 15% from maidens, she'd still do enough healing. And going bigger on attack percentage? You probably would have done that too with Rosaria. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll get her sooner or later. I'm hoping sooner, but who knows? That's up to the RNG gods. Because she is in the general pool, right? So you can get her anytime. What artifacts would be good on her? I don't use her bursts that much. I don't care about her cryo damage. I don't care about her physical damage. Energy recharge and crit rate are both good, but those are only on 4-star sets. Maybe I'll try to go with that then. Go with the 4-star sets, because, yeah, I'll have to think about that. There's nothing really that I can farm, and I'm quite happy with where she's at. Even though more crit rate would always be good, I think having a crit damage one actually works. So, yeah, I think the more I think about it, the more it makes sense for me to go farm this one. Yeah, that's the physical / noblesse. Because I can use noblesse. I don't really have any good noblesse pieces, really, I think. And even though the new physical one seems good, I mean, if you're going two-piece, it doesn't matter which set you use. They're the same. They're the exact same buff, from what I can tell. It's what, 25%, right? Yeah. The 4-piece for Bloodstain just doesn't seem good. It seems very niche. It seems like it could be very good in certain situations, but it's very niche. So, I don't remember exactly what I like to take for this, but oh yeah, they have a geo damage like debuff, I think, but it doesn't really matter because Ganyu can kill them very quickly anyway. So I prefer to bring characters who can break through their shields easily. And oh, wrong character. So that's basically the reason I bring Mona here. Oh. Just had to drop right when I fired the arrow. Okay. Oh right, I should have brought Pyro, I forgot. Okay. Well, Hydro can still eat through that shield, it just takes a while. I thought Hydro could eat through the shield, does it not? What's going on? Right. I'm just gonna leave and bring a Pyro. I forgot about the Cryo Abyss Mage. Oh, her E gives other characters a 15% crit rate buff? Wait, is that's a thing in her skill set? I didn't know. That's interesting. But that's also kinda... I feel like that's a little off, because when you use her E, that's exactly when you want to use her, right? So it's almost like her... When state activated by guide to after... Oh, when it ends! Oh, that's... Okay, that's way better than I thought. That's like perfect. That's perfect. So it naturally gives a rhythm to her fights where you use her and then you switch out to somebody else who then gets a nice little crit rate buff. Wow, that's really great. Alright, in that case, instead of Chichi, I guess or let's try this. I don't really need Venti, to be honest. Not a whole lot of crowd control necessary. Let's try bringing D-Look. Yeah. I'm gonna switch the orders, though. I like having a sword or claymore user generally on that slot. And kind of a support user on that slot. Maybe even better than Rosario. Well, in terms of numbers, that's almost always better, right? Because Rosario can hit 15%, whereas it looked like, from what I remember, on Huta it's a 12%. But how can you hit 15% on Rosario? Well, if you have a 100% crit rate on her, but how often are you going to get that, right? So generally, yeah, it's going to be a better crit rate buff than Rosario. Excuse me, Rosario's. But, I mean, that makes sense. Huta's a 5-star, and I'd say she'd generally be considered one of the best 5-stars. So, oh, wrong character. Yep. I wonder if the melt provides an extra damage to the shield when destroying the shield. I'm guessing anyway. Oof, shit. That there's an effect for the Hydro. Okay, so let's try this. I believe the Claymore also helps eat through the shield. But obviously the Pyro is the biggest factor. Oh, he has a very slow hit of a sword. I should really experiment with his animations at some point, his attacks and such. Okay, let's try getting her healed up a little. Freeze? Good. Alright, and last guy. I do like how you can... Well, it's not consistent, but almost... It's pretty often, if you play it right, you can make sure that this guy never really attacks you until the very end. For whatever reason, they didn't put in some sort of system where he auto-aggroes, or... Maybe he's already aggro, but I don't know, but... Either that, or... They could have put in a system where he wanders around, because if he just randomly wanders around, it's almost definite that he'll eventually run into the main character, or to the player while they're fighting the other ones. No, the next weapon banner and the 4-star characters with Yanfei. Well, so I don't think that's that strange, right? Because it's what, Wednesday when they're gonna update, so we're still got like 3 days left. So I figure when they announce it, it'll be tomorrow or yeah, I would guess tomorrow, but could be Tuesday even. Alright, give me... Well, I'd be happy with good pieces for either one. How about a physical goblet of the... What is it? Bloodstained. I'd be happy with that. Only 3 days, that's quite short. Yeah, but they've generally cut it pretty short before, haven't they? I feel like 3 days has been actually pretty normal for them, so maybe it's a little shorter than usual, but not that much. I guess there's not much room to go down. Huh. Interesting. This could be used on Noelle if I'm building her as a DPS. Basically, it'll be designed around using her burst and then destroying shit as much. Oh, that's perfect for Albedo. Yeah, right. He scales off all of those, huh? Okay, I'll keep that one just in case. Oh, crit damage. It's just a shame about the substats. Yeah. Well, we'll see. If that crit damage, I don't have that many that have crit damage, I think, or is it crit rate? Not sure. Scholars. Yeah. Goblet. Nope. Sands. Yeah, with 2, it's not really worth. That's bad. Yeah, let's try again. Nice Virginian too. Oh, I could see that Virginian. It's just that I feel like she doesn't get a whole lot out of defense anyway, because defense I think only provides an extra to her shield, I think. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've played her. So having defense as the main stat, it's like if you're depending on how you use Jinyan, obviously. Maybe if you're using her for a shielder, that could work. I could try that actually. That could be interesting. It's just that I figure if I'm using her as a shielder, I'm gonna want to go all in on whatever stat is for her shield. But I guess it could be that she is a shielder who is a sub DPS, so that she can do some critting while she's doing her sub DPS stuff. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, but in any case, that's a good artifact, I'd say. Even though the stats aren't quite in line with... The main stat isn't quite in line with what I'd be looking for right now, I think it would be very useful to keep and potentially use on somebody else later down the line. Because it has solid substats and a main stat that is useful on certain characters. Demo of Resident Evil 8. That's that's Village, right? Resident Evil Village. Nice. Really, since RE7, they're far better. You know, I tried to... Oh, I should get back into RE7 in VR. I tried to play it in VR, and to be honest, I found it kind of physically uncomfortable. In both a good way and a bad way. Obviously, it's a horror game, so being uncomfortable can work, but also I was getting nauseated. So I couldn't play it for that long at a time, but what I played of it, I loved. It was such a, yeah, well-designed game and everything, so I'd like to revisit that. But I remember I really loved Resident Evil 4. That's actually one of the... I think that was the first... No, I played Code Veronica, but I never finished it. But the Resident Evil... this one's interesting. This one could also... Whoa, did I just get 2 pieces that I could put onto Noelle to just immediately make her into a somewhat viable DPS? I just got 2, that have crit and defense. But yeah, I think I tried to play through Code Veronica, but honestly, I found the controls frustrating. I didn't like it. And I played Resident Evil 4, really loved it. And I tried to play Resident Evil 5, but I just got bored. The story didn't draw me at all. And I didn't play 6 or but then yeah, 7 in VR and 8. I mean, it'd be interesting. It'd be cool to play. This looks like dog shit to me. I can't see a scenario in which this would be that useful, so that it's garbage. Alright, so we got a couple potentially useful Noblesse Oblige pieces. I'm pretty happy with that. Crit and Elemental Master would be great on Jingchu too. Oh yeah? Crit and EM. Yeah, so that had... But does Jingchu scale off defense? Is that... Does he have something that scales off defense? I almost never use him, so I actually know very little about how his stuff works. Oh, you mean the feather? Oh, right. But the feather had double defense, right? It had crit damage, but it had double defense. The Elemental Mastery is nice, but I'm thinking with the double defense, it'd be good to put on somebody who attacks and oh shit, wrong type. That was pointless. Yeah, somebody who can scale off defense. For that reason, I guess Jin Yang could work. They do not have a lot of defense at level 20. Wait, what do you mean? Pray not to have a lot of defense at level 20? Oh, instead of defense going to crit? Yeah, I guess that would be the ideal. Although it'd be oh shit. Yeah, I aggroed. I find that funny when that happens, when a character dies and for whatever reason, because of the way the animation system works, they end up... Ah, shit, wrong one. That works. Oh. Okay, wow, that's so much healing just off the E, right? Man, that is so much. And she's nowhere close to fully built. Well, maybe she's close, but she's still got a ways to go before she's fully built. Oh, shit. Yeah, statue frozen. Yeah, let's get some healing then. This way. Then do that, maybe get her healed up a bit. Man. Look at that healing. Mona's still got some work to do, but that filled up Deluxe HP so quickly. Alright, that was kind of a bad, mediocre run. I got kind of careless and got Ganyu killed and struggled a little after that, but it's alright. Still got through. And let's see, I'm hoping for some good physical pieces as well. We've gotten a couple good Noblesse pieces today. I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, I guess the game was listening because they gave me two of the physical pieces. Yeah, that one... This one is more... You can be picky when it comes to the flowers, but I'll roll it to 4 if it's a crit. Yeah, if it's a crit. Energy recharge. This one's interesting. I'm not sure who it would be good for. But energy recharge with defense and crit damage obviously is always good. Yeah, somebody who I would use, who does crit damage, but then I would want to use their burst often. I don't know who that would be. Or who does physical damage, but who I would want. Ooh. Well, it's only got 2 stats, so being a 4-star artifact, sadly, I think I'll just go ahead and dump that. Alright, so some potential. Physical support Jean. Oh, well, her auto attacks are physical, right? So maybe. But I don't think I'll go with Bloodstain set on her, to be honest. Thinking double Viridescent, double Gladiators? Her healing scales off attack, I think, so Gladiators I think makes a lot of sense. But maybe I could try going with Bloodstained or something like that on her if I'm really invested in making her a big ass DPS. I'll think about it. Could be potential. Because I want her to be on the field as much as possible when I'm playing, and DPSs are of course the ones that tend to stay on as much as possible. So. And if I use her as a healer, of course, and if I play well, then that means I use her less and less. The better I play, the less I use her, right? And I don't want that. I'm gonna use her as a DPS. Full Animo set, oh yeah? Oh yeah, that's a pretty good support set, right? It allows you to support other characters in doing a lot of elemental damage. If you do the swirl. Yeah, I don't think I'll do quadruple Viridescent, because that's venti for me. Jean, she needs to be the star. She needs to be on the field. She can't just come in, use whatever skill or burst, and then get out. She needs to stay up there. So, in fact, Bloodstain could work. Okay, so we got one of each. Yikes. So with the circlet, attack percentage as the main stat is unfortunately not any good. If they ever come up with a character whose damage scales off HP, defense, and attack, oh boy, this one has you covered. Unfortunately, I don't think I can't think of anyone who is like that. This one's garbage. This one, I mean, obviously attack and energy recharge aren't bad, but it's all over the place, right? If flat attack would be better than HP percentage, right? You want to kind of go all in on one set of stats. Crit damage, but the substats, man. Yeah, elemental mastery on a physical set, not really worth. Not really worth. Alright, so actually, let me check. I still do have a decent number of... Yeah, I think I'll be okay going down to as little as like 5 fragile resin. Because we've got a new BP coming up soon anyway, so we'll be getting a bunch. And it's not like there's anything better to use them on, right? The best thing to use them on, from what I can tell, is artifact farming in terms of just the potential gain that you can get. Okay, can I use his blunt attacks? No, they don't really seem that effective. Let's just can use arrows to eat through, and then we're teleporting to infuse. You like Jean as a character? You can heal, give bonus from the Anima set, do a lot of damage. Yeah, she seems like an all-rounder. I've mentioned before, but it almost feels like Jean and Bennett are like, very similar to each other, because they both do all sorts of things, almost everything. The only thing neither of them do is shielding, I think, because they both provide heals. They both provide damage buffs. I know Bennett provides straight up attack buffs, whereas I think Jean provides like wind, or it's like animal related resistance, because I think it's based on what you swirl. So that provides a buff to whatever element your other characters have. So that's not a straight up attack buff, I think. I think that's how she works. And whereas Bennett is a straight up attack buff, but they're both attack buffs, and they also both do damage. even though neither of them are is considered like a top tier damage dealer. If you build them that way, they can be very good damage dealers, from what I understand. So, yeah, if in a different world, if Bennett were a husbando for me, I'd probably build him up as a DPS and have him just blowing shit up all the time. You know, literally with his attacks too, right? This one's unfortunate. Elemental Mastery isn't the worst, but and obviously crit rate's good, but those other two stats, that one I'm feeding. Defense percentage. This one I imagine. No, with physical damage. Is there any physical damage character who scales off defense? I don't think so. Alright, so I feel like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do some more farming. But before I do that, let me actually put on some music. And I figure, yeah, why not put on some of that, what is it? Near Replicant OST if any of it's available. It might get DMCA'd or whatever, but who cares? Oh, right. It's playing whatever was playing previously. Oh, there's... Oh, this one's from last year. Was the music available earlier, maybe? Because I would have thought the OST... It seems like a mix that includes OST and Replicant and Automata. Well, let's just put it on. It's probably pretty pleasant. Okay, that's a little loud. Let me adjust that. It's a remake. Oh, but so I imagine they used the same music, or not the exact same music, but basically similar themes. Plays on the original theme, or maybe just the same, basically the same music, but just with re-recorded and different sorts of mixes and such. Redone, but similar sounds. Okay, I see. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, okay. I do remember I got that one. Right, so I'm actually kind of curious what the let me actually try putting those on her right now, because oh, she already has a 4-piece noblesse set right now, huh? Oh, that's actually a pretty good one that I have on her. Wait, actually, I already have a better... What's with my noblesse look? I already have a better one for... Also, for these... This one's... I don't need that many noblesse pieces. HP percentage, double defense, crit damage. I'm not even sure why I locked this. I don't know any character who scales off HP and defense, or I don't have any characters that would get much out of that, and who would get much out of crit damage at the same time. Yeah, this one is worth throwing away, and this one, yeah, I'll throw it away. I don't need it. Healing bonus is always good, I guess, with HP percentage. And yeah, I kept it just because of crit damage. That one's garbage. Alright, so this one obviously can't roll defense percentage. It could roll flat defense, in which case this one would be slightly better than that one, I guess. But this one already has better crit rate. It's just... So I'm gonna try rolling this, and unless the 4th stat is really good, like energy recharge, I guess I'll just go ahead and fodder it. I'll hold on to this just in case. Energy recharge, defense, and crit damage. Flower, you can be picky. This one is not worth. I'll try rolling it, but I'm expecting I'm gonna use that as fodder. Bloodstained this one's trash. Crit damage. I'll hold on to it for now, but I think I'll probably trash it soon. Circlet, attack percentage, garbage. Circlet, elemental mastery, garbage subs. Well, not complete garbage substats, but garbage enough. On Diona, an HP circlet is good with the full noblesse set. Oh, okay, I could see that, because then you get the healing and the extra attack buff from the burst as well, huh? Yeah, for Bennett, I could try building him up with Noblesse Oblige, but the thing is, right now I'm very happy with where Bennett is in terms of what he does for me. So I don't feel like investing any more time into trying to build him right now. But that's something I'll keep in mind, though. Thank you. Yeah, this one's garbage. Instead, let's try using lower rarity ones. Oh, I might need to farm Leyline. Flat HP. Okay, this one's garbage. It's like it is pretty neat that it had double HP. Like double HP is obviously better than single HP if you're gonna go with HP, but I don't have a character that scales off HP and who would want crit damage and crit rate. Not that I can think of. And also obviously the defense is the main stat. So that's a no, I think. Now let's look at the feather, actually. So yeah, this one's a straight up better feather already. Just from the crit damage. This one, somebody who scales off defense and HP, it could be worth keeping actually. Now that I think about it, there could be a support character who scales off HP and defense in the future. And if I don't care, let's say if they have some sort of shield or something that scales off HP or defense, and I wouldn't need them to crit, so not having crit, so I'll just hold on to it for now, but it's not looking that great for me right now. Use the full noblesse set on your healers. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That way when you get that burst heal, you end up when you get the burst heal, you also provide a HP. Cleavages, that's a cool name, gotta say. Oh, especially with the character Cle. Okay, it took me like more time than I'm proud of to get that. But Zhongli, yeah, he does scale with HP, but on Zhongli I figure something I wouldn't put Noblesse Oblige on him right now. Oh, and thank you for following as well. Welcome. But yeah, I figure if I'm gonna build him up with HP, I'll probably not want Noblesse Oblige on him, because Noblesse Oblige is probably good for him as a burst damage, and if I'm doing burst damage, I would rather have crit rate or crit damage. So this one's all over the place. I might throw it away. So this one crit damage, they both have crit damage. This one has defense. Yeah. Alright, let's look at the gladiators pieces I got. If any of them are... I don't recall getting any particularly good ones, but let's see if I got any that could be... Or not gladiators, bloodstained. On a burst Hutao. Yeah, if I had a Hutao. But certainly, burst Hutao with HP and noblesse, that would work. You could sacrifice some crit rate or crit damage substat on that one, because you don't need it on every artifact you have, right? You just need it in a few and have some good rolls. So I have the gladiators on this one. Crit damage. Look at those substats. I got crit damage as the main stat, and that one, the substats aren't looking too good either. Yeah, these are fodder. This one, if it rolls crit rate, this one I think I'll keep, but I won't put on anyone yet. Elemental burst, circlet, HP percentage. Yeah, I don't have anyone who could get anything out of that. I'm not liking the flats on this, and a circlet with attack percentage, yeah. One day you should replace double glad for double noblesse and kaching. Oh yeah, you go all in on using her bursts, and because you're doing electro, yeah, that's gonna do a shit ton of damage. Yeah, could be. Could be good. Sands, HP percentage, elemental mastery, attack, yeah, this one's trash. Double defense, crit rate. I keep getting good defense artifacts that would work for Noelle, but Noelle doesn't get a whole lot out of elemental mastery. Almost nothing, in fact, because when she already has a way of making her shield, so the fact that you can increase the power of the shield that you generate by using her geo attacks doesn't really help you very much at all. That's not worth. So I like the elemental mastery, but these stats are all over the place. I don't need it. Okay, let's see what I'm gonna get as the next step. Yeah. Unfortunate. I'll use that as fodder because, yeah, I can't see a scenario in which I really get anything out of that. Let's look at that. Yeah, I already have a good... Yeah, I should level this up to 20 one of these days. That would help her out a lot with the physical damage bonus. So, right now I already do have a decent one on her. It's just that elemental mastery, right? It's a shame that it rolled into that and HP so many times. That one, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have a better there for her. Crit rate. Okay, this one has potential. It could still be worth using it on her instead of the one I have right now. Even if the next roll isn't a crit damage, because I think it might be better to go in on crit rate with her right now instead of crit damage. Look at this. Double defense. This one would work for Noelle, but it's a sand. Not a great option for an off-piece. Yeah, there's no animo characters that scale off defense that I can think of. Yeah, I'll just dump it. Yeah, welcome to artifact farming. Yeah, I've been here. I've been here a while. It's just, that's why I've tried to avoid doing it as much as possible, basically. Sands. Attack percentage is okay on Sands, but those substats are garbage, so I'll throw it away. Those substats, not good. Not what I want for a healer at all. The goblet... HP percentage. Yeah, this one's garbage. Here, let's see if I can... Yeah, I'll use a... I don't have that many 2-star artifacts, huh? Right. Oh, insufficient Mora, shit. Well, I do have enough resin right now to do 120 ley line. Actually, let me do some runs around the area just to get some free Mora. Because there are some areas around here where it's pretty easy to get a good amount of free Mora. Certainly nothing compared to the ley line. Ley line provides, what, 60k for 20 resin? And it takes you a heck of a lot of time just to get like 1,000 Mora doing this. But it's not nothing. And I like to do them every day anyway, just because they're there and I happen to have the time, and I usually, yeah, I almost always do them off stream because I don't mind farming to be that, like, I don't know. I actually do enjoy watching streamers farm, but I personally don't enjoy doing it on stream. From the new set as soon as you can. Yeah. You want Eula to be perfect? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not... Well, I guess if they ever announce a Jean banner, I'll probably pre-farm for her. But because of the fact that I have to just simply get lucky at some point, there's no way to... With the current state of things, there's no way for me to prepare for getting Jean. She's just gonna randomly drop if I do get her. So she's not gonna be perfect for a while if I do get her. But that said, she will be my #1 priority until she's 90. I guess I'll edge her a bit after I get her up to like 10-8-8 or something like that. I don't know the proper order in which to raise her skills or whatever, but so wind is generally what works for these, but when instead of switching over to a team that has wind, I often like to just use my pyro and burn them, even though it takes a little longer. Yeah, the next 5-star I have will... I mean, yeah, that's true. I'm guaranteed that the next 5-star... Unless there's some sort of... So here's... Yeah, the next 5-star I have will be either Zhongli or Eula. That's a guarantee. Well, no, that's not a guarantee right now. Things could change. What I'm seeing as the only real scenario in which I don't get either Zhongli or Eula as my next 5-star is if during Eula's banner, they announce that the next 5-star banner will be Jean. Well, either that, not necessarily the next 5-star banner, but that Jean will be one of the next upcoming 5-star banners. Yeah. In that case, there's a decent possibility I wouldn't get either of them. You would recommend her E first, but as a main DPS auto attack. Okay. And then burst. Yeah. I'll make sure to do my research after I get her and everything, right? Because I'll have plenty of time. Right, so that's a I think I already killed those. Let me actually check. I also need to do my mining runs for ore. Let me switch over to team that has... What's her name? Ningguang. Which, by the way, one thing is I sometimes do play this game in Korean, and I don't mean the language, but rather... Or I don't mean the audio language, but which is also the case. I do sometimes play it in audio language Korean, but I sometimes play with the game set in Korean mode so that all the UI and stuff is in Korean. And that way it also shows you the character names in the language, which, you know, it's pretty easy to look it up if you want to, but I don't like to bother doing that. But I noticed a lot of the names, you know, are very different, or not very different, but, you know, it's noticeably different. Like Ningguang in Korean is Ungguang. So there's no N sound at the beginning, it's just an empty Ungguang. I can see why they went with Ningguang. I imagine the original Chinese too is different from the Korean as well. So I guess I already killed this guy here. I killed the Geo Bishops over there. It'd be cool. New Electro set when the Inazuma is released. Yeah. Yeah, or if we have a leak about a Jean banner, that would also do it. Because I figure I'll at least wait until the last week or last few days of the Eula banner before I pull on her. Assuming I don't get Zhongli. English. I think KRJ, PCN are mostly the same. Yeah, I imagine it's one big factor is that those languages have very close common ancestry, you might say, in evolutionary terms. They are closely related to each other. Maybe not that closely, but they are. A lot of the vocabulary and etymology are pretty come from the exact same roots in a way that they don't compared to English, right? Because you go back far enough, yeah, there's similarities between English and Korean, but compared to Korean and Chinese, way less. So that said, one big similarity between Chinese and English that Chinese and Korean doesn't have is the fact that Korean is an entirely, oof, no shielders, is an entirely, what is it? It's entirely based on the syllables that you make. Each letter or word or whatever that you write in Korean makes a sound, and then you have to derive the meaning from, like, you know, context or a dictionary and such. You can't innately know based on what you see written down what it means. Whereas in Chinese, you kind of have to, right? Like, each symbol actually means something. They're not in English. Even in JP, they aren't common. Yeah, have Chinese, like, Ganyu is Kan. Huh, Kan, no. Okay. Yeah, I should probably listen to the game at some point in Chinese with the various character names just to get a sense of exactly what they originally should be. Although I also wonder about, say, Diluc, right? Because Diluc in Korean is Diluc, and from what I can tell, that's wrong. In Chinese, they call him Diluc. But also, Diluc in English is Diluc. And it might make sense that since Mondstadt is largely based on Europe, and specifically Germany, I think, that English being a language much closer to German than Chinese is, that the English pronunciation for these names, like Amber, Jean, Barbara, right? I think those are probably the correct pronunciations in English, and as well as in, you know, originally. And it's more correct than whatever they have in Chinese, I would imagine. Yeah, Mondstadt names are Western, right, right. Okay, so how much more do I have? Let's go to Kaching. Get Bloodstained, right? Okay, I have enough at least to level up to the next point. If I edge it. No. Okay. Elemental Mastery on physical damage piece, huh? Yeah, useless. Yeah, this is I guess getting her a better flower would really be nice. Look at that, because like 13.2 crit damage is nice, don't get me wrong, it's great. But look at those other substats. Yeah, Elemental Mastery. Sadly, this one I think isn't worth keeping. Attack percentage I like, but yeah. Well, I think I'll do another set of runs. Yeah, but I'm not sure if I want to go back to that one or a different domain. It's just that there's no... I guess I could try pre-farming for Diluc, but I'm not in a hurry to build him up anytime soon. I don't really need more maidens or viridescent. And I'm not building my Geo characters anytime soon. And without knowing exactly if I'll get Zhongli, I don't think I'll pre-farm for him. And Rosaria I've talked about. So yeah, ultimately I think I'll just go back to the same domain. Noblesse Oblige pieces, always you can use more of them, I guess, because they are so generically useful on a lot of characters, a lot of supports. Yeah, with physical damage catching. Hey, I don't think that's that uncommon. I think it's just that people who waifu catching, which to be fair, I like catching a lot. They tend to go with her with Electro because she is kind of a lot more dynamic in her playstyle with Electro. But I think if you want to get the most damage out of her that you can, what's with this guy? He's usually like sitting, I think. But anyway, I think if you want to get the most damage out of her, you go physical. Now, in my case, I didn't go physical because I wanted to get the most damage out of her, but mainly because the only sword I had on her was a... Only sword I had on her was a physical, which I guess technically that does mean I wanted to get more damage out of her. It's just that, yeah, that was my only 4-star sword, you know, at the time. But now that I have more 4-star swords, I might switch things up. But that'll have to wait. How much lightning damage you get with 3? Oh, yeah? Yeah, I mean, certainly I'm not saying her with Electro is bad, right? do hear that she drops off compared to other characters, but I mean, come on. I'm not in the game to try to, you know, set records on Abyss Floor 12, or even try to get 3 stars on it, you know? So, I'm not that unhappy. I wouldn't be that unhappy with the less damage, even if it is somewhat less, but yeah. Ultimately, it was just an early choice I made, and I'm sticking with it for now, but I do think at some point, yeah, especially if I get more constellations on her, it would make a lot of sense to try building her Electro. Try out the style, and also another thing is, there is a possibility that they will buff Electro when they release the Inazuma. I don't know how high the possibility is, but there is a possibility. And there's also a possibility that, like you said, Nat, I think, that they'll release a new domain with new better Electro artifacts, or maybe not better, but different in a way that's fitting. Because Thunder Soother, to be honest, it has potential, I think, but I don't like it overall. I just don't. So, Thundering Fury, the fact that 50-50, you're gonna get basically useless artifacts, that doesn't seem good. Oh yeah, it's also possible they just make Contact Electro's Bastet. That's true. Well, in the foreseeable future, it seems they'll make Contact that Physical's Bastet, right? Because they're giving us a physical buff for the Abyss. Is it the Abyss for the upcoming? Yeah, special set for the Electro Arc. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, actually, now that I think about it. Because I do feel like with each release, or each time they create a new set of artifacts, which I think it's only happened twice, right? They did one with the Hydro / Cryo, and then now with the Physical / HP. Each time they do that, I feel like they release it along with the character who it makes a lot of sense to use something like that on. Maybe not not at the exact same time, I'm not sure, but I feel like Child was released around the same time as the Hydro / Cryo domain, and Ganyu was also released pretty soon after that, I think. Yeah, the new artifact domain is confirmed to be physical, if that's what you mean. I don't think they'll bring us another physical domain this soon after another one. It's physical / HP. So, yeah, I don't know what will be next, actually, but I guess it would make a lot of sense that it would be Electro if we assume that they'll make a set that would work well with the new Electro, new 5-star character, who I'm sure they'll release, just like Venti and Zhongli, right? The new the Electro Archon and everything. Nice. Alright, let's get some Mora just so that I don't have to bother with that whole thing anymore. Using up 40 resin for some Mora is not the worst decision one can make in this game. Electro lives matter. Careful who you say that around. That can get you cancelled. Where physical damage is... Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, there is one where physical damage is best, isn't there? There's one right now where there are enemies that... I think it's... Is it the Thundering Fury domain? I actually don't remember, but I feel like there is one. I'm actually kind of curious. Let me... Let's see. Oh, there is? Okay. So does it tell me information about this? Well, it tells you lore, I guess, but it doesn't actually tell you about the whatever buff you get. It's where you use your Jinyan. Oh, yeah, nice. What constellation is your Jinyan? I definitely want to build Jinyan. I really love her character, but partly because she hasn't been... Oh, Pyro. No, that's not the right one. Maybe it's the, this one. But partly because she hasn't been featured in the story at all, right? I can't remember ever seeing a cutscene with her in it. And that's really a damn shame with the Lantern Rites event. Just the fact that we didn't see any of the... Yeah, Brute Force, this is the one. So, yeah, this is the one where physical... Oh, she's C6, nice. Okay, yeah. I'm hoping... I figure I'll want to build her once I get her another constellation on her at some point. Because she's C0 right now. And I feel like I can get a lot more bang for my buck from other characters right now. This music's quite nice. Very pleasant. I like it. Yeah. It's chill. Let's see, actually... No, unfortunately Jinyan just can't apply Pyro often enough for me. Yeah, I imagine once I build Jinyan, she will be... I don't know. To be honest, I found her playstyle a little bit frustrating. She's slow. And unlike somebody like Beidou, she doesn't seem to have a way to speed herself up. I think. Maybe she does actually, I'm not sure, but it seemed harder to trigger maybe? I don't know. But in any case, I found her slow, and that I didn't enjoy so much. So maybe I should try using her as a support. Oh shit, that was bad. I tried to get the quick snap headshot and I just whiffed. Completely missed. Yeah, it's definitely very nice, this OST, I gotta say. And from what I've played of Nier Automata, I remember the music being very good. Like, I would definitely put it up there with Genshin Impact in terms of video game soundtracks, from my preference, that Nier Automata had a very good soundtrack. So it doesn't surprise me that Nier Replicant also. C1 increases... Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I did think that there was something related to increasing attack speed. So if you build her with crit rate as very high, then you can basically make her faster. So actually, that's one big reason it would make sense for me to wait until I get her C1 before I start really investing into her. Because at that point, I'll actually have a lot more fun playing with her. Jinyan is one of the characters... Oh, you never played despite having received 5? Yeah, well, one day, right? You have so many characters though, right? Especially 5 stars who take a lot of investment to level up, so it makes sense you can't quite focus on somebody like Jinyan. Hopefully she'll get some story content soon. That would... It would be nice to get her popularity up, or, you know, get people talking about her. That one's garbage. This one's interesting. This one could be good on Bennett as a healer. Like, crit rate, obviously, you'd want energy recharge on him as a healer, but if you want him healing and maybe doing some sub-DPS work when he's out there, could be useful. All those attack and crit rate and physical damage artifacts. Defense. Oh yeah. So the defense scales her shield, right? So yeah, I can definitely see that being a good... Yeah, she's sort of a good garbage collector in a way when it comes to the artifacts. I feel like characters like her and Noelle are kind of like that, as well as somebody like Hu Tao, who scales off HP. But HP, I think, generally gets a better rap because they have a lot of uses in healers. No, that one's garbage. Flat defense supremacy. Well, I believe in flat defense rate up. We all know that, you know, flat defense has at least twice as high a chance as any other stat as being the 4th role. And if you happen to have flat defense as one of your stats, you have at least like a 50% chance of it rolling into that, not 25. It scales their attack damage at C6. Oh, really? Oh my goodness. Okay. Holy cow. That changes a lot of things. In that case, well, I'm definitely building up Jinyan before I get her C6. I'm building her up at C1, but once I get her C6, holy cow, I'm going all in on her. I think. It'll also depend on what other waifus are available at the time, but I'm just really sad that I haven't really gotten to play with her that much because I like her so much. And I want to make up for lost time, you know? Ah, nice. Got that one. Here, let's use that for the healing. Took advantage of the iframes from the burst to survive all that ice damage from the ice mist. Jeez, that healing, man. Her C2 makes her Q guaranteed. Oh yeah, I think I vaguely recall that. Thanks for reminding me, yeah. So yeah, basically, even if you don't build her up with high crit rate, you are going to be able to crit on demand, basically. She's a Pyro Noelle. Okay, I kind of see that, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. I never really thought of her that way, even though they have similarities with the shield and the claymore use. I almost felt like Noelle was unique, which she is. She's unique. Everyone's unique, but they do share some good similarities, huh? Finish farming for your Noelle, yeah. But her energy recharge, yeah. Well, I've not really built her at all, and I understand the energy recharge frustration when I do use her. Interesting. Very interesting. This one could be very good on Jingchu. That's why you put Skyward Pride. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I remember that. This one could be very good on Jingchu. Yeah. Holy cow. Very nice for Jinyan. What do you mean? This one's Hydro. Jingchu, yeah. And this one is also not a bad feather at all. Not at all. Actually, this one could work on Noelle as well, now that I think about it. Obviously, you'd want defense percentage rather than flat, but... yeah, I'm having some decent luck with my Noblesse pieces today. Kinda wish you could lock, element... oh, that would be a nice... quality of life change. If you could actually lock artifacts from this screen. I'd like that, yeah. But yeah, I think these drops are telling me I need to start thinking about building up my Jingchu and Noelle. The nice purple fodder. Yeah, that so far it's all been fodder. No, you were thinking about Jinya. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. We were talking about her. Or at least I was. Okay, so I figured out basically a pretty consistent way. I don't think I'll bother trying to do a speedrun of this domain or anything, but I prefer not to spend any more time doing farming than I have to. So here, are you coming here? Good. Let's see. The iframes from that. Oh shit, he's dying. Is he dead? No, he's not. Not quite yet. Oof. That thing does so much damage, and I mean, to be fair, my Diluc is level 50, and he's not built at all. Not that I would ever build him with defense, even if I did, but just from being level 50, his defense stats are just not good. That said, he does have a lot of HP because of his weapon. He's got a very nice bell that he's using. Oh wait, no, if I want... oh no, that gives passive healing, right? Yeah. It's a lot like Barbara. I need to think of her E as being like Barbara's. Except you don't have to deal with her applying cryo on yourself, I think. That'd be so frustrating. When you're playing in water, if she applied cryo on yourself. Well, Mihoi chose Diona for the hangout event instead of Jinyan. Yeah, Diona already have an event for her. Wait, Diona already has an event for her? Did she? I don't remember her having an... Event. Does she have a date? No, she doesn't. Not yet. But I wonder if it's just because we're more Mondstadt focused right now. I'm thinking with Eula too, right? She is. But then again, we have Zhongli as the next banner. This one's garbage. The stats are all over the place. This one has potential, depending on what the fourth one rolls. It's garbage, garbage, garbage. Yep. Okay, some potential pieces, yeah. 1.5, you have free Diona within event. Hangout 2 will be Noelle and... Oh, okay. Well, I feel like in that case it actually makes sense that they would give you a free Diona and then the Hangout, sort of, just as a... You know, kind of... It's time for Diona and Noelle to shine. I guess... I feel like MiHoYo likes to double up on stuff at once. They like to kind of go all in on one thing at a time. It's the way it feels, where they release a whole lot of polearm users, right? They release like so many polearm 5 stars in a row, or not, maybe not in a row, but very close to each other. Okay, let's use her burst. And I feel like they've done other things like that too, where it feels like they do a lot of similar things. And now they have Noelle. Noelle was, you know, obviously one of the only 4 characters in the game who got a dating event. And now, instead of going to another new one, like Diona, which, you know, to be fair, they did, they seem to have decided, oh, Noelle deserves another one. Which is normally what I'd say, what I would consider odd. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like MiHoYo, yeah, does that where they... Okay. Just healing up here. Yeah, I hate that Ice Mist. Just the fact that, as far as I can tell, there's, unless you have a shield, there's really no way to avoid any damage from it. You can't dodge it. I'm not sure if Beidou can counter it or anything like that, but with Beidou, of course, you're still using a shield, technically. But they have characters they call Amber, Kea, and Lisa. Yeah, one day. I feel like with this, where Genshin is right now, we're still very much in the early portion, I would say. So it might take a while before they really get back to the OG characters, the story-locked ones. Oh, what?! This is... I think this is the first time I've ever gotten 4 golds using, obviously, 2... using a condensed. And they're all royal, too. They're all... Whoa. The odds of this is tiny. Because just the odds of... Given that you get 4, the odds of getting all of the Noblesse Oblige would be 1 out of 16. Yeah. Of course they'll all be garbage, right? This one's pretty much garbage. I guess this one could be used on... What's her name? Ningguang. Yeah, because you want Noblesse Oblige. HP percentage works on her, but the other substats are garbage. This one's actually pretty good. This one's good. I'm not sure who I'd want to use it on, but this one's good. It could be a 2-piece... Oh, I could do 2-piece... Well, it could be something to try out if I have the right artifacts, but I could do 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Wanderers on Sucrose and try to build her with a lot of energy recharge and elemental mastery. Could be used on Zhongli. Oh yeah, that would work on Zhongli as well, but I don't want to go with Geo damage bonus on him right now. I'd rather have energy recharge or HP. But yeah, could be. Definitely, if I swap things around later on, depending on how I build Zhongli. This one looks like hot garbage. I don't see a scenario in which I use this. This one's not awful, but it's also not great. Energy recharge. That could be interesting. If I put energy recharge, sand, and this on Sucrose, and then give her Wanderers as well, she'd go all in on Elemental Mastery, and do a lot of... try to use her burst as often as possible. Yeah, could be an interesting thing to think about. Those are at least 2 pieces I'll keep. That one's not bad. But others are garbage. Yeah, sadly. Yeah, energy recharge on Noblesse is pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of synergy there, right? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like having crit rate and crit damage together. Obviously, one helps out the other. Depends on which character. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on which character, right? Every character here in the game is genuinely unique. And not just in kind of a superficial sense. Each and every one, I feel like, has something that they offer that really changes the way the game is played. Pretty significant way. Let me actually take a look at Jingchu. Right now I just have 2-piece Heart of Depth on him. But with all the nice Noblesse pieces I got, maybe I'll try at least putting on a couple... I need a Claymore for Dealer? Yeah! But right now I figure I'll want to take her, take his, the Bell up to level 90 and then play around with it. We still don't know if we have Eula in 2 or 3 weeks. Oh yeah, good point. They haven't fully announced if... It's actually... wow. If it's gonna be 2-2-2 or 3-3, right? The geo damage bonus, HP percentage. Yeah, this one's unfortunately not great, but really depends a lot on what it rolls next. So this is the one I'm very excited for with Jingchu. Because the substats are good. Maybe even great, but definitely good. And the main stat being Hydro. Oh man, that's very nice. Defense is the main stat. I might end up burning it anyway, but... or using it as fodder, but not great. Yeah, the Bell's the best weapon for Diluc. Of course it is. You want him to be tanky as hell, right? You want to just take him up the front and have him tank all the hits, and God knows there's no way in this game to help him tank hits other than giving the exact DPS that you're using more HP percentage or defense. That's the one and only way in this game. There's no other way. So yeah, just going to go all in on HP on Diluc. That's how you do it. So Sans with HP. Sans is the middle one. HP could be good, but I don't like it. Energy recharge, that's good. This one's good, very good, in fact. Crit rate, energy recharge. This one has potential, but I'll probably... this one I'll keep just because double HP and crit rate could be good. Getting a weapon to 90. Yeah, well, it's a huge investment, and that's why I'm doing it. Because it's a dumb thing to do. I feel like it'd be fun to just try doing it. Because how many people have the bell at level 90? Right? How many people have over 2,000 Jowl Lanterns? It's so dumb to use your resources in this game and to make that kind of shit. And that's why I like to do it. So let's see. This one looks like it's not worth... Goblet, HP percentage, flat HP. Yeah, this one's all over the place. I'm not going to be building crit... I'm not going to care about crit damage on someone like Diona or putting Cryo on her. Yeah, this one was the one I rolled and it was trash. Yeah, this one's sad. HP... Yeah, really unfortunate about this one. It had potential. Circlet, attack percentage, 4-star, garbage. Sands, defense percentage, trash enough. Yep. Next time, farm the melt. Yeah, even more HP. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Put a double. Putting that. Also, you gotta put a 2-piece of both of them on D-Look, right? Because you want to maximize his physical damage. I mean, he does pyro damage, of course. Everyone knows that. But if you really want to maximize his damage, you want to go all in on his physical, because that's what his main auto attacks do. I'm sad about the defense percentage substat, but it's still worth having on him, I think. That hydro damage bonus is good, and it's not like the current one that I have on him is that great anyway. So these are the hydro damage pieces that I have, and like this one's obviously good, but the set is off, and it could be a good offset piece, but simple fact is, if I want to initially build up Noblesse, let me just try looking at what I can do with the Noblesse pieces. The maximum HP, yeah, he'll never die, and he'll be able to beat you up. So energy recharge, crit damage. Yeah, these are actually good pieces. Yeah, I put HP percentage on it. I think it was mainly for the hydro, but maybe the HP also helps his healing. Element flat mastery isn't great on him. HP, flat HP, defense. Yeah, I think I'll just. Oh, I still like the double HP. That's the thing. I like if I'm building somebody for HP. I like the fact that I have HP percentage and double HP and flat HP. But those pieces aren't great on him. On this, crit rate, energy recharge, and defense, crit rate, and double HP. Well, if I'm building him as a healer, HP can be good. But if I'm using the Noblesse Oblige, I'm probably more focused on the energy recharge. That one is a very niche piece, but I'm gonna hold on to for now. And for flowers, right now, oh right, I did try to build him healing, that's why I have a maidens on him, but that's not a great maidens at all on him. Energy recharge and attack percentage are really the only things he gets any use out of. Now, energy recharge and crit damage, elemental mastery isn't that great on him, but it's not bad either. Energy recharge, attack percent, that one's all over the place. Damage. So it's these two are both actually pretty good. This one has better crit damage. Yeah. Okay. Do that for now. Noblesse Oblige. Yeah. Now I'm actually gonna, in terms of leveling stuff up, I'm more curious about the Bloodstained Chivalry pieces because of the fact that that's where I'm really lacking a lot right now. Yeah, I really like this OST too. Pleasant and chill. Yeah, still pretty upset about the fact that the current sands that I have on are rolled into Elemental Mastery and HP so many times. But sadly I don't have a better one. Not right now. Crit rate, attack percentage. Oh yeah, that's the one I rolled, and crit damage, attack percentage. This one could be better. This one could be better. Let's... Yeah. Just take this... I'm just gonna double check. I always like to double check when it comes to feeding artifacts. HP percentage, attack, crit rate. It's all over the place. For a physical damage dealer, it's not... The two substats, attack and crit rate, are okay, but the others are... Yeah, it's okay. You mean the previous one? Ah, flat attack. Wrong piece. 0 more. Yeah, very soon. The lowest I've ever gone down to that I can remember is 2. It'd be pretty neat to hit 0. I can't remember ever actually landing on 0. This one could still be better, because I don't get much out of Elemental Mastery. Or HP. The defense is identical. Crit damage, if it rolls into crit damage, then yeah, it could easily be better. So I'm gonna at least try rolling it, see if I can get... I'm gonna regret this, but I'm gonna lock this for now, just... I'm a hoarder at heart. It's a circlet with attack percentage main stat, that's not worth. Gonna need 2 or 3 million for Eula. Yeah, well, I don't know. Even assuming I get Eula, which I don't know if I will, but there is always the chance I'll get both Zhongli and Eula. But it's gonna take a while for me to invest in her. She's cute, but unless she really grabs me with her story, I'm just not gonna care that much about building her up anytime soon. I'll get her up at least to 80, right? Every 5-star, I feel like getting them up to 80 is a priority. Except the husbandos. Which, luckily enough... Ooh! I like this. I like this a lot. I like that a lot. Yes! Yes! I think this one might already be a bit better piece. Let me check. It might already be better. Yeah. It's already a better piece at level 8. Compared to the... Yeah. You have so much character to build. Could skip her banner. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't skip her banner outright unless there was Jean coming up or something like that. Because I still want to get her. She's cute. She's beautiful, in fact. And even if it would take me months before I could get around to building her, it would be nice to have her, right? Just on the team. So actually, do I... Now, I think I'll hold on to this just in case, because look at how many bloodstained flowers I have. And if I want to put a bloodstained flower onto somebody, having 13.2% crit damage isn't bad. It's not great, mind you. It's not great, but it's not bad. So, right now her crit damage stat's identical to how it was earlier, but now she gets a little bit of a better attack. So I'll take it. And she gets lower HP, but who cares about that? Will I try to get constellations for her with Eula? No. I think if I... So assuming I win Zhongli's... If I get Zhongli, then I'll be happy if I get 1 copy of her. If I don't get Zhongli, then I'll just get 1 copy of her. And unless she comes... Well, maybe I'll do a couple 10 pulls after, but I won't be going hard or anything. Okay, so I did end up improving my Kaching a little bit. I'm quite happy about that. But oh yeah, I was here because I wanted to farm a little, or mine a little. Let's see, now that I do want to take that 1 flower up higher, because it's actually quite a good flower now that I think about it. Now, there's always the chance that it'll keep rolling into the flat defense stat, but it's already gotten a decent crit damage. And the other 2 stats, I mean, flat attack would be unfortunate, but certainly better than flat defense, right? And attack percentage, I think... Obviously crit damage is better, obviously, but attack percentage overall, I think, isn't awful. It's just... It gets overshadowed by crit damage a lot. I think that's... And... fairly so, right? Justifiably so, because crit damage is way better. But Attack percentage is just free attack. It'll help you out even the times when you don't crit, so attack percentage still gives you something that crit damage can't. Lots of stats worse than flat attack, absolutely. I hear that. And the fact that it can't possibly roll into anything other than flat defense, or the fact that I have 3 out of 4 chance of rolling some sort of offensively minded stat means, yeah, it's a good piece. Oh, this new skills book with Inazuma, the book we have are related to Anima and Geo. Oh, good point. Right, because we basically have one talent book domain for each. One talent book domain and one weapon ascension material domain for each of the 2 cities or countries that we have access to now. So it would make a lot of sense that when they do introduce Inazuma properly, that it would also introduce another 2 domains. At least another 2, but yeah, another 2 domains for the talent books and for the weapon ascension materials. Also, am I going the right way? Is it down there? Am I just wasting my time? Oh, no. Turns out I wasn't. Yeah, I think we're almost definitely gonna get new talent book and weapon ascension materials. It'll be another set of 3, I'm guessing, and it'll have the same kind of rotation as the existing ones, because of course with the gacha game you need to keep introducing new farming materials, right? Otherwise the whales and even the non-whales eventually will just end up having enough for any new character. So every new character, maybe not every new character, but as you keep releasing new characters, you need to also keep releasing new ascension materials that they'll need to get people to spend money to farm. Probably new world boss. Yes. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Probably more than one new world boss, in fact, right? Maybe there will be just one new world boss at first. But who knows? Because in Liyue, they added the Primo Geobishop afterwards, right? I wonder if that was purposeful or if they had multiple boss enemies, you know, planned for Liyue, and they were like, okay, we got to work on all of these, and when we released the game, we had these just basically perfect, so let's use them. And then later on, we're still working on the Primo Geobishop, so we'll save that for later. Or, yeah, if it was like that, or if they purposefully in the beginning were like, okay, some number of months into the game, we want to introduce this event that has Geobishops in it. So why don't we coincide that with releasing the Primo Geobishop later, whereas we can have the what is it? The Fire Flower and the Geo Hypostasis first. Are those the only bosses in Liyue? Oh no, there's also the Hydra one. I think that covers it. I can't. Well, there's got to be one for every element other than plant, right? So I guess it's 3 in each. So you got the wind, obviously, in Mondstadt, along with Electro and Cryo. Yeah, so it's 3 in each. Yeah. This is a nice area to farm in terms of, or mine for ore, definitely. There's so much there. I guess all of Liyue, not all of Liyue, but Liyue has a lot of spots like that. And it does make me wonder if whatever next area they release, which, I mean, I guess it's going to be Inazuma, if it will also have a lot of ore mining areas, or if it'll be very few. Like, even less than Mondstadt. Because Mondstadt, I feel like it had to have at least some decent number because it is the first area of the game. So you need players to at least be accustomed to doing the whole thing and have access to enough mining, even though, of course, early on you don't need that much EXP. And Liyue, the whole Liyue lore is based around rocks and ore and such, so it'd make a lot of sense for them to have a whole lot of ore outcrops and such. And a lot of their story is also based around ore and such, right? Because you got that one ore mining town that's like a dead area now. In fact, you got a multiple kind of dead areas or dying areas, which is also interesting, but it has to do with their mining. So yeah, like I said, it makes a lot of sense for that reason for Leeway to have a lot of ore mining outcrops, but they can't keep adding too many mining outcrops, right? Otherwise it makes it too easy for people to level up their weapons. Maybe, well, then again, it's still locked by the fact that you have a limited amount of stuff per day that you can actually do, so maybe they won't particularly care about adding too many ore outcrops. Yeah, maybe that's the case. They just won't care that much, because they're already limiting you with how many you can convert per day, along with the Mora, of course, but the Mora tends to be fairly low in requirement. And well, the cryo hypostasis on Dragonspine too. Oh, is that right? Did they announce that? I actually don't remember that from the live stream or anything like that, or but I wasn't paying full attention. Cryo hypostasis. So instead of the cryo Regisfine, we're getting a hypostasis. So I wonder if that means eventually we'll get a hypostasis and a Regisfine of each one, and then afterwards we might even get different variations of those elemental enemies. I imagine, yeah, that's almost... maybe not almost definite, but it's probably almost definite that they've thought about doing something like that. It's a pretty obvious thing to do. I guess if anything, it might be a little odd that they don't already have one of each element for each of the bosses. But I do kind of like that they mix things up like that, where it's just not... yeah, you get... one for each type. It's not just some neat little perfectly tidy, wrapped up in a bow setup. It feels a little more... it helps the world feel a little more natural that you get these weird clumpy things. Where... well, I guess it's not clumpy, it is 50-50, right? You get 3 Regisfines and 3 hypostasis, but it seems to me like kind of random on which elements you got those. Right. As long as I'm here, might as well pick up the artifacts. More artifact EXP is always good. I noticed recently, because I always prioritize using high rarity artifacts first when I level up artifacts, that I end up kind of just hoarding my 1-star and 2-star artifacts, although you can see I used up a lot of my 2-star artifacts. And I actually don't know the rarity of the artifacts that you can pick up on these routes. But I guess they're mostly 1-star, and that would make sense. The 1-star is the least rare, right? And I guess, I wonder if there's some RNG in what rarity of the artifacts you do pick up, rather than each setup being the same kind of rarity set. Yeah, there must be. Okay, yeah. In fact, I would bet on it. Despite not knowing anything about how that mechanic works in the game, given how other mechanics in the game work, and given what I know about gacha games, yeah, I would bet that there's a RNG factor in which rarity you get when you pick up an artifact. Did I feed the foxes? No! I still haven't gotten around to looking that up or doing that. I guess I need to. Use 1- and 2-star artifacts to unlock 4th stat on good artifacts. Oh yeah? That makes sense. I guess it's quicker in a way. I do find it frustrating that you can only add 6 at a time. So the fact that I can just put in 6 and then immediately take it up to 4, even if it takes a little bit more time, maybe, to pick the 6, I find it a little more satisfying to do it that way. I really hope that they expand that to allow, I don't know, 20 artifacts, like in FGO. Heck, make it unlimited. I don't see why there needs to be a limit. Just let me take the risks. Let me take an artifact up from 1 to 20 at once using nothing but level 1 artifacts. I'd like that. Nothing but completely non-EXP artifacts. Yeah, I never use auto-add, yeah. I don't really find it frustrating that when I do use auto-add, I only get such a tiny amount of EXP. Because the 1-star artifacts are... yeah, you know, they don't offer that much. So, let's see, we still have more ore here. I chose the number 6. I wonder if it was just a random thing having to do with the UI look, that they could just fit 6 conveniently in that little area. Just, I don't see the reason why you would need to limit the space that you have for that, for the artifacts that you put into that area. You don't even need to look at the artifacts that you're putting in, not all at once. You just need to look at them when you put them in. You don't need to look at them after you put them in, right? When you use auto, often you never have one. Yeah, I guess that's one thing. It's also that I kind of like having consistently high... I try to have a consistently high amount of EXP when I do level up, because there's always the chance of getting a Super Suck or a Great Suck. Now, of course, if you level up many times using lower artifacts, you essentially get more rolls. So it all evens out in the end. But I feel like... well, no, it doesn't quite... I think it kind of does, but it's like... it feels bad when you get a Super Suck when on a roll that is all 6 1-star artifacts. At least it feels bad for me. So I like to try to always have a decent amount of EXP that I'm putting in. Except for when I'm edging. I don't think I've heard anyone use the term edging for this before. I've heard people say that they edge characters up to 20 or something like that. But I've never heard people say that they're edging when they're doing that. So maybe I'm not using the term quite properly. I think understandable what I'm talking about. You know, some people like to edge their characters in Genshin, others don't. I like to mix things up, do a little bit of both. So much time when you level up your artifacts, spend much more time... Could add 20 artifacts. Yeah, right, yeah. But, you know, it's not... The thing is, well, here's the thing. If I could add 20 artifacts in a row, then I'd be using the auto add, right? That's the thing. The reason I don't use the auto add is because you can only add 6 in a row. If you could add 20 in a row, then I would be using the auto add all the time. That would be the only way I'd be using it, because 20 1-star artifacts is actually a decent amount of EXP, whereas 6 is... that feels bad. So. Yeah, that's one reason why I do hope that they go up to 20 or something like that. It would save me a lot of time. But yeah, I know in FGO, I think, what was the limit of the amount of EXP embers you could add to a character during the first year? Was it 6? Was it 4 maybe? I'm pretty sure it was less than 10. I think it was less than half of what's available now, which, I mean, quite frankly, even now 20 is like a pretty ridiculously low limit. I don't understand why they even have a limit, but in any case, 20 is at least survivable. It's not like awful, but whatever they had, 6 or 4 that they had before, that seems absolutely ridiculous. And I'm hoping that that's sort of the state that Genshin is in right now, where for whatever reason, this is a thing that they haven't really thought about in their design of the game. Because I can't see them wanting to make it that slow. You know? I don't see a reason why that would make them any more money, let's say. Oh, I think I already picked up these artifacts today, actually. But okay, so I did the mining stuff, and I did the ores, or that's the same thing. I did the artifacts, I mean. And now let's actually try to level up that one artifact. Do I have any artifacts that I can sacrifice? That's actually one thing I'm kind of curious about. Let me look at the artifacts in this menu and look at which ones I do have leveled up that aren't being used right now. For damage bonus, elemental mastery. I like the attack percentage and the elemental mastery substat. Although on an electro damage bonus, electro characters usually aren't going to be getting that much out of elemental mastery anyway. Let me look at what other electro damage bonus goblets I have, because that could be worth sacrificing. Depending on my other options. I don't need that many electro damage bonus. Wait. Oh right, she has a physical damage bonus one. Okay, in terms of 5 or 4 stars, these are the ones I have. The only reason I'm keeping this is because it's a thunder piece. Too bad these are thunder soothers. Yeah, this one's definitely way better. But in any case, let me look at this one. Alright, so I do have multiple wanderers with electro crit rate and a flat attack. Attack percentage. Oh, this one, despite being a 4-star, is actually somewhat better. I'm not liking the HP. This one's not great with the HP either. Yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, I guess I'll keep that, but I'll go ahead and throw this one away because even though crit rate is better than attack percentage, the odds that it's gonna keep rolling the crit rate's so low. Actually, let me roll this at least once more, see what happens. Worth, not worth, not worth, not worth, not worth. If it rolls another into crit rate, I'll go ahead and keep it. Okay, I'll hold on to it for now. Finally, electrocution. Nope, not anytime soon. That's not gonna happen. Because yeah, crit rate is a very valuable substat, from what I can tell. Nope. So I should, if I happen to get lucky enough to roll something like that, I should thank my lucky stars and keep it. Physical damage. Oh, this is the one I used to have. Yeah, because I'm lacking in flowers for that. I guess I'll just keep it for now. Crit damage, attack percentage, energy recharge. This one's not bad. Crit rate, crit damage. But defense percentage and attack. Yeah, this one's kind of all over the place, but. Pyro with defense. Oh yeah, this one could actually be good on someone like Jinyan. I'll hold on to it. Physical, energy recharge, crit rate. Omen of the Thunderstorm. It's an electro piece, but it's not. For Electro Traveler. Oh yeah, that could be useful actually. I'm definitely going to be using electro damage bonus on certain characters, like Fischl. But just not on... Yeah, and once Travelers... I'll definitely try out Travelers, the Electro Traveler. I hope they do a better job making the Electro Traveler more, like, worth using. Oh, it wasn't Electro, right? Was it? It was Hydra, I think? No. Damn it, I forgot which one I was looking at. It's actually not that hard to figure out though, because it was a Thundering Fury. But, yeah, it was Hydra... No, that's not the right one. Physical damage bonus on Thundering. Let me look at what physical damage bonus pieces I have. I guess I don't need that many physical damage bonus pieces, but I'm thinking Thundering plus physical is actually a pretty good combination for me, because both Kaching and Beidou, as well as, actually now that I think about it, Fischl could get something out of both. So unless I have a better... Yeah, this one's garbage actually, I shouldn't keep it. This one's way better, yeah, I should keep this one. Electro resistance, physical damage bonus, energy recharge. But then again, if I'm going physical damage, it might make more sense to go Thunder Soother, right? Because that way you don't have to do damage again using Electro. Yep. Geo Traveler, oh yeah, it is the best puzzle solver, and as well as one of the strongest characters, right? Ever since they buffed Geo. But I don't really enjoy the playstyle per se. You know, I don't like shields, and especially when you have to actually create the shield and hunt it down. That doesn't appeal to me. Elemental Mastery, I like the crit damage, definitely, but... yeah, I'll hold on to it. Damn it. Not really seeing a whole lot that would be great for tossing. Actually, this one could be good. Wanderer's Troop, of course, it's fairly easy to keep getting them, just because... yeah, and I have so many goblets. And I have... okay, these are the electro damage bonus ones. Yeah, I've already looked at this. I'll hold on to it for now. Viridescent. I think I already have pretty good Viridescent feathers, and with feathers you can be very picky. I don't like the fact that this is attack percentage, but with Goblet, trying to get the exact right one for the set be hard. Damage, energy recharge. This one's all over the place. But the crit damage, with feather you can be picky. Yeah. Goblet, I'll keep that. Alright, I have some with that should give me a decent amount of EXP now. And take another look at those feathers that I had. They were what, level 8? So if I look at the gladiators stuff, I already have a lot of decent gladiators, I guess. Crit damage and defense. Crit rate, energy recharge, crit rate. So this one already has better crit rate and better energy recharge. This one just has the bonus of the attack percentage, which... oh wait, that's not the right one. Yeah, actually, maybe I should switch this from... you look. Yeah, one or the other. You'll level up your Traveler. Yeah, that's way behind the line, right? You've almost finished for Noel, Beidou, and Fischl. Okay, nice. That's great. Having characters finish like that must be a great feeling. Now let's look at my Viridescence. I'd say among all my characters, Ganyu is probably the only one that I feel that way about. That she's basically done. I might look for opportunities here and there to eke more damage out of her, but for now, I think also her artifacts aren't fully 20 yet, so that should probably be a priority. If I want to eke more damage out of her. But the thing is, already she does so much damage for me that... flat defense rate up. We all knew that was coming, right? That one not worth. Crit damage, HP not worth. Goblet, attack percentage. Attack percentage, Goblet. Yeah. I don't know, I'm tempted to do this, keep this just for Chi-Chi, but Chi-Chi might already have a better one. Yeah. Alright, let's see what I'm gonna roll at level 16. To see if it's fodder. Yeah, if it rolls another defense, it'll have to be fodder for a better piece at some point. But even now, it's probably worth holding on to, I guess. Alright. If it even rolls flat attack, I think I'll be happy enough. Of course, there's a flat defense rate up, right? Yeah. So that's a 1 out of 16 chance that it was gonna roll flat defense both times, and it did. So, it's still a better piece, but yeah, sadly did not get what I needed out of that. Oh well. Let's see, actually, I'm gonna try rejiggering my Chi-Chi. I want to see if I can really get her attack up. Let me see. So I have the... I don't really care about the cryo damage bonus on her. But let's see. I don't keep a lot of goblets with attack percentage, so attack percentage is the main stat. Isn't that common? Yes, gladiators and maidens are both good on her. What do I have? Gladiators, maidens. Okay, this one I'm very flexible then in which one I use. Any 5-star with high attack and good substats then, I guess? Let's see, I do like having that crit rate there. Yeah, that's actually a really good piece for my Chi-Chi. And this is the piece that I feel really frustrated about, because it's actually not a bad piece for a lot of healers, but on her it's not good. So maybe what I can do is try swapping... Yeah, let's see what happens if I do this, and then I go on here and get something that's higher in attack. Although, you know what's funny? This one rolled so many times into attack that it actually has quite high attack. But attack percentage on as the main stat's always better, because it's... Well, not always, but unless this keeps rolling into attack percentage. Flat attack. Crit them, I guess I want attack and crit on her. Ideally, that's the best combination. Flat attack, crit damage. Yeah. The crit damage I'm losing out on, but I'll get more out of attack by just simply leveling this up. On your count, finished build for... Wow, that's a lot of characters. Huta, Ganyu Zhao, Keqing, Jean, Child, Albedo, Zhongli, Beidou, Official, Noel, and Jingchu. That's I mean, that's a full 2 teams for the Abyss and then some, huh? That one's not worth. I'm running out of Mora again. That one's not worth. Not worth. I don't have an HP scaling. Oh. Kinda like this one, even though the other 2 substats are bad. Berserkers with crit rate or crit damage is always good. Okay, yeah, I need more Mora. In that case, have I picked up this Mora yet? I could also just kill some big enemies as well. Yeah, I think I did. The rocks are... where else is it? I mean, without... I guess I can always do a 20 resin run of the ley line. But there are plenty of Geobishops. So there's one there. Let me actually go down here. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. On my way down, I'll kill Geobishops and then I'll do the ley line. 4 teams you can use anytime for any... Yeah, it's pretty nuts at that point. Like, I don't ever want to be there. That's kind of a pretty nuts place to be. I guess I wouldn't mind, but it's like that doesn't fit in with my goals of playing the game at all. So, but it's must be very convenient having something like that available. You can just do anything you want with. You can basically handle any content you want in the game with any characters you want that you have. Let's go ahead and kill him. Get free Mora, but their materials will end up being wasted because I don't want to bother. One day I'll do. No, I'm pretty sure there will never be a day that I'll be at that point, just because it's not a priority for me. I'll probably have at least 8 characters perfected at some point, but I don't imagine I'll have 8 characters that'll be teams, right? And much less 16. I'll always have characters that I'm not quite perfected, or maybe not even perfected, but like not. Or I don't think I'll ever have 16 or even 8 characters where I'm like, okay, they're done. I'm happy with them. Maybe 8, but again, it won't be an 8 that is like 2 good teams. Probably not. Because, you know, I'm always prioritizing my waifus as well as characters that can carry me through hard content. Rather than, like, teams. And given the artifact hell of this game, like, getting characters perfected, no. It's gonna take forever. Of course, it will accelerate. That is one thing. Because it took... I mean, I'm, what, like 6 months into the game now, right? And I'm gonna be able to get characters completed much faster than 1 every 6 months. Wouldn't be surprised if I get another 2 or 3 the next 6 months. I think 3 would be stretching it. 3 would be pushing it pretty hard. I'd have to get pretty darn lucky. 2, yeah, 2 I'd be happy with. 2 I'd be very happy with. If I managed to complete, say... Who would be the next one that I'd really want to complete? I don't know, maybe Chi-Chi in fact. Chi-Chi might have upped the line. Maybe Beidou actually, yeah, Beidou. I think the next one that I really want to complete is Beidou. She definitely cut the line in front of Kaching. For sure. And the fact that Kaching's a 5-star does mean that it seems to take a lot more work to get Beidou up to the level that I want her to be, or to a similar level as my Kaching was. But, you know, what can you do? It's just the nature of the beast. I already have 3 or 4 characters finished the build. Yeah, I mean, again, I'd only say... yeah, Ganya's really done. Kaching is still... Kaching is at a good place. I'm pretty happy with where Kaching is. But I wouldn't say she's really done. I guess Bennett is also at a very good place, but he's also somebody I wouldn't say is really done quite yet. I almost never use Bennett anymore because well, he has his full bond now, and in terms of healers, one thing I've been trying to do is get better at using other healers, because it's good to just have a diversity of skills in terms of using characters in this game. And Yanfei, yeah. You almost never use Bennett because of Jean. Yeah, that would do it too, right? But, yeah, Yanfei is also definitely on the list. I mean, but Yanfei, who knows how much I'll want to actually build her. Besides getting her up to level 80 and like 666. I don't know. I think it would help me a lot to have another Pyro user. I think Yanfei would be a higher priority than D-Look, that's for sure. Even though D-Look... You want to fight a boss with... Oh, Well, that could be fun. I'll fight one boss. I almost use him just for your second team on the Abyss. Yeah, I see. You know, it's funny. Ganyu's auto attacks, I think, probably do more damage than Ningguang's charge attacks. And that. Alright, let's see. How do I actually do this? I don't think I've ever... Oh, friend details. No, oh no, they're looking at me. Okay, looks like it's loading. So, once I'm in, let me just see which boss they want, and I'll just try to make a very strong team. Or bring my strongest characters for handling that. I get the feeling this song in the OST is probably DMCA. Just because it's like a legit song. Oh, doing this one? Yeah, in that case. Guess I'll bring Kaching. And oh, he already has Amber, so in that case Kaching. And let's Kaching and Diluc should be able to handle it. Okay. You want the cryo boss? Let's see, also while I'm here, can I mine some rocks? Might as well steal some ore. Oh no, it's not at this end of the... Yeah. I wonder how close you can get to it without activating it. I'm pretty sure as long as you're outside of the ring, you're fine. Okay, looks like... What, Maomi? I'm guessing that's how you... This is your favorite... So, by the way, Nat, I think you might have a misunderstanding of what OST means. Because OST means original soundtrack. So this OST refers to the entire body of music. So you would say it's your favorite song or track from the soundtrack. So, whereas the OST is like the whole thing. Okay, yeah. No problem. It's Weight of the World from Nero. Oh, that's the name of the track? Okay, cool. Weight of the World. Yeah, that's fitting, given the type of game that is. Okay. So, I guess it's a good thing that we're facing a level 50 boss, because I'm bringing a level 50 Diluc. It's just a shame that nobody brought an archer. I thought it was just gonna be us two, rather than including a third character, so if I knew, I would have brought Amber. Okay. I like this music for this boss fight, actually, though. I do find the Cryo Registine to be quite pretty, which I like, and it fits the music somehow. I wanted to do a head slam. There we go. Oh, I couldn't punish the head slam. There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I try to, yeah. I guess it's good to try to correct so that, you know, English, you end up learning, right? But yeah, I'm sure there's a similar term in French too. But anyway, okay. But I don't particularly need this, and it's a level 51 anyway, so right, let's do this then. Oh, it's nice too, the fact that we have Zhao right here with the Zhao lanterns. Alright, so I guess now what I'll do is I'll do another challenge run on Tiled and then end the stream there. Yeah, I think I'll do another solo attempt using my D-Look. This D-Look's the same strength as... but before I do that, I'll go ahead and finish what I was doing earlier, which is getting some more Mora and then leveling up an artifact. But in any case... Oh, right, we faced 2 of these, huh? It's pretty convenient that it's raining, isn't it? Oh wow, that damage! Okay, so let's see. That. So, right, I wanted to at least get this up to 8 just to see what it was gonna roll. It's garbage, sadly. Always sad when you have a good main stat and bad substats. Going to sleep? Okay, yeah, you did 40 missions today and it's kind of boring. Okay, yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming by. And oh, nice roll! Holy cow! That's a big. That's a good one. Nice, I'll take it. I guess I would have preferred attack on. Well, no, not flat attack, but yeah. But yeah, you're not missing out too much by missing, not completing the event. In any case, as long as you got 1 copy of Ryoma, I guess. Okay, so right now I have Maidens and Gladiators. I feel like I would like to eventually replace the Maidens with something else, but no. Yeah, I'll probably stream, yeah, at 1.5 at some point just for the new content. I don't know if it'll be right away, as well as to pull on Zhongli, of course. But yeah, have a good sleep. Oh yeah, I should also just at least level this one up somewhat so that it has... That's unfortunate. This is crit damage, bloodstained. It's just that the substats are offline. It is a 4-star, which means I can be a little more picky. Oh, double. Alright, flat attack. Oh, this is looking really good on Chi-Chi all of a sudden. Flat attack on top of attack percentage along with crits. Now the only way... I guess energy recharge? Either that or elemental mastery would be... well, at least it's not flat. Alright. That's... Now I just have to hope it doesn't roll into defense percentage again. I'm gonna just at least roll this up to 12 to see. I'm really curious what it's gonna roll. But please, please, I don't know, crit damage? Yeah, I'll take crit damage or attack. Even flat attack would be okay. And yeah, crit rate. Crit rate would be very good, certainly. Come on. No! 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 Why? Defense, defense! Jesus! This had so much potential! I'll take it up to 16 one day, but... Gosh, look at that crit rate on her, though. Oh, and her attack has increased by quite a bit. I'm happy about that. Yeah. And let me just check. Yeah, she does have a crit rate, one of these. I guess ultimately I also want to eventually replace it with an attack percentage one. Because frankly, she doesn't need that much crit rate. Yeah. Yeah, let me switch the music because for the Fighting Child, I do prefer to use the actual in-game music. Not like the music... to be honest, you know, after you listen to the same boss music, you know, however many times, it gets kind of boring, but music's good. I like it overall. This... Oh no, not level 90 yet. Let me actually double check what I have on my D-Log, so... It hasn't been improved at all, basically, since last time, yeah. try putting some better artifacts on him, I guess. Give him a nice... I'm doing a lot of pyro damage to do my damage, maybe... Giving him a nice artifact. Here's what I'll do. Just so that this isn't completely hellish in terms of the amount of time it would take. For now, let's give him a little extra. Crit rate, crit damage. That's better crit damage. And I'd be getting an attack percentage up. Yeah, just give him that. So he'll be getting a little bit of an extra attack percentage. Of course, he won't be critting at all, basically, but well, a little bit of extra attack will help. Because I wasn't going to be critting a lot anyway. Okay, so level 80. This is one that I haven't done. Actually, yeah, have I done level 70 successfully even yet? Let's see. Well, if I do level 80, I'll consider level 70 beaten. Okay, 5, 6. That's as many as I can possibly do. Okay. Ever since I figured out that you can actually kind of... that it's actually good to hit him while he has the shield up, I've come to prefer the non-6-hit combo version of his arrow attack. So this is what I call the 6-hit combo, which is definitely punishable, like that. Whereas this, he'll almost always put up a shield right after. But, oh shit, yeah, that was... It's frustrating, it can be hard to really react fast enough and to tell that he's not shielded versus he is, because it's very dangerous to attack him while he's not shielded. Oh. Huh, so often I feel like you can actually punish that. Oh, shit. Ooh, I ate that one. Oh, okay, I'm dying. Okay. So yeah, when I'm actually doing damage to him, I need to make sure to do only a couple hits. Oh, what? I didn't quite catch what happened. I should have probably not run into an area where the whale was, if only for the visibility. So, that was pretty dumb. Okay, 5 hits. Now I can try to punish this with the... if he puts up a shield. Oh shit, what? I thought he was staggered. Okay. Alright, I can't afford to stand there and keep trying to punish him when he puts up a shield and I end up not doing a combo. He looks just not fast enough to do that. Oof. Okay, 6-hit combo. Okay, good, he's staggered. Keep doing damage to him. I need to get better at timing the cancel for his combo animations. Right, do that again. That 6-hit combo. Let's see. Nope. He ended that one way earlier than I was expecting. Should have tried to punish it, but I wasn't quite ready for it. Okay, 5 hits. Okay. Yeah, let's try to at least make it go with the combo when I'm trying to punish him when he puts up the shield. I need to do at least 2 hits to try to get the combo established. Keep him on his heels. Okay. Yeah. Oof. Oh, yeah, I can actually cancel the second swing through it using a dash if necessary. So that's the way I'm gonna have to approach it. Do a 2-hit combo at least, and be ready to cancel that second swing if I notice that he's while doing something like that. That was actually really close. I'm surprised I didn't die right there. Okay. Oh, so like that, yeah. When I noticed that he wasn't shielding, I knew immediately I need to interrupt my attack with a dodge. Yeah, I think when he's staggered, that might be the best combo that I can do on him. Not sure. Okay. Ah. Okay, he's gonna do his combo. Right, that's as much damage as I can do, I think. I can do the 6th hit, but to be honest, it's kind of risky when I do try it. Oh, shit. I'm not sure how to read that when he's gonna actually end that shield and then respond right away with an attack. Coco Goat, the legendary Adopted Beast. So they do have coconuts in this world. I wonder where they grow. We'll probably end up having to farm them at some point for something. Alright, so level 80 is still giving me a ton of trouble. I'm not sure if I can do it anytime soon. So let's try level 70. And maybe it's just a repeat of something I've already done, but hey. That's alright. But now I'll be sure that I've done the level 71. Okay. 2 hits. Yeah, that's what I can do. And then combo. Oh shit, I didn't have this E ready, so I can do 4 hits really. I probably could have done a 5th, but really didn't want to risk it at that point. Okay, here's the shield. That's off. Don't think I did any damage to him there. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, he staggered. Okay. Oh shit. Oh. That was a free hit. I think you can get a decent number of free hits on Child. Basically just 1 hit and hit and run. Basically. And I feel like the more opportunities you can discover to do that, the faster you can make this kind of thing go. Oh shit, no! I thought he would put up his shield. Okay, that was a big mistake I made, and I got punished. Oh. Alright, so now let's actually... I feel like with the whale, it does feel like a waste not to punish it, but I haven't been able to find a consistent way to safely punish it. So I'm just gonna step back. Oh, is he staggered? Oh, oof. Is he staggered? No. I'm not sure. Yeah, that... Maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing a stagger animation from the front, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, he was definitely staggered. I missed a big opportunity for some damage there. Okay. 4 hits. Okay, 4 hits of his regular auto combo, I think, is doable if you attack right away. I generally like to use a combo that mixes in his E. Okay. Oh, is he staggered? I'm not sure. Nope. He's putting up his... Oh, he was staggered, but he also put up his shield. Oh, that's the first time I can remember him doing anything like that. Nope. Yeah, wow. So that one I preemptively dodged, and the timing just turned out to be perfect for the dodge. Maybe I shouldn't take that risk from now on, but... It's... Yeah, I was in a situation where I knew he could punish me right away, so... Yeah, I knew I was in a really bad spot right there. Oh! Okay. That was bad. I doubled back on myself the moment he decided to start his arrow combo. Now, I should have known that he would be ready to use that at any point, so I shouldn't have doubled back on myself like that. Let's try being a little more aggressive. I can do 6 hits off that. Oh. But I also need to make sure that I'm nice and up close to him when he finishes this combo if I'm gonna consistently punish it. Maybe I should use his E-based combo. Okay. Oh, good, he's staggered. In that case, I should have used a more regular version of his E-based combo. It's funny, for whatever reason, I think Chi-Chi flies less far than Dialog when you get knocked back from that one attack that he does that does no damage. And I'm guessing it has to do with the fact that Chi-Chi is a smaller character model, so like the scale of things are smaller, but of course when you think about it in terms of world logic, you would think that she'd get flung further because she's lighter. At least that's what I suspect. Unless it's the case that I'm just completely mistaken and she doesn't get flung any less. It's just the illusion of something. Oh shit. He's staggered, I need to keep punishing. Ah, that one didn't land. Okay. Let's punish the shield. He's gonna do the combo. Okay, 5, 6. That's all I can do. Oh, shit. Five, 6. 6. Okay, yeah. That's as aggressive as I can possibly be. Oof, okay, he's not shielding, so I need to stop. Okay, is he shielding? No, so I need to stop. Oh, that was close. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. He's staggered. So let's keep going and just do a lot of damage to him. Oh, he's shielding. Yeah, so okay, I guess he does consistently shield towards the end of his stagger. Oh shit. That was dumb. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing there, and I ended up attacking instead of dodging in a key moment. And I got punished. Is he... Yep, he's shrugging. Oh, oh no, what? I tried to dash. I guess there's a point in his animation that's harder to cancel than others, or maybe you can't. And I'm just hitting it. But yeah, my dash cancel didn't land properly there. Oh well. Okay, 6 hits, that's all I can do. Okay. So, still not that great at timing that one. One counter. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. I could have kept wailing on him afterwards, actually. Ah. It's so frustrating when the actual... You can see the actual sword clip through the enemy. Just barely, but because... Or maybe it doesn't quite clip, but it looks like it. But it doesn't actually damage them because of the way the hitboxes work and such. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I guess when he starts shielding is a time when I should just back off and not bother, because it seems once he starts shielding, he basically always ends it with that 0 damage burst back a water attack, which resets his stagger, basically. So at that point I should realize that he's not going to take any more damage during this stagger session, and set up the next one. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. 6. Yeah, I think I can consistently pull that off now. Oh, let's back off. Okay, shooting the water. Ah, let's not punish, I'm too far away. Okay, he's doing the combo. Oh, he's staggered. What? Oh, what? For some reason it looked like one of the attacks didn't land. What? Okay, that's kind of bullshit. One of the attacks on his combo just didn't land for whatever reason. I guess when that happens I should just back off and play it safe instead of trying to make it work. Because I'm not gonna be healing myself in this. Okay. Building. Ah. Okay, let's back off. Yeah, that is something I've gotten punished by a lot. Okay, he is staggered. Okay, let's make sure to cancel. Okay, good. Alright, almost through phase 1. To be honest, I find phase 2 even harder, because there's a certain set of attacks that I just can't seem to consistently dodge for whatever reason. Oof, that was close. I should have dashed, but I thought I could dodge it just by running, and I could. So it turns out I was right, but it was way too close for comfort. Oh, he's staggered. Good. Oh, phase 2. Okay, do a little bit of damage to start things off. Okay. Because of that, his teleport combo, I really have a hard time punishing his combos, because I need to stay very far away from him. Either that or it might be possible to dash through it, but I really have zero idea in terms of the timing. Oh yeah, that's the teleport combo. Oh. Oof, that one was close. Yeah, I feel like I'm just a lot less comfortable with punishing in this phase. Like that one I can fairly consistently punish, but a lot of his combos I'm still not so great at reading. I wonder if it's possible to do a no roll run of this boss. Or no dash, I guess, because there is technically no rolling in this game. Not, at least outside of certain stealth segments. Oh. Oh, he's staggered. Okay, let's make sure to punish it as much as possible. Oof, okay. Unfortunately, that last hit didn't land. Gonna shield. Oh, oh, I got hit. I'm actually shocked that didn't kill me, but I didn't have the timing for his counter right at all. Okay. Yeah, this phase is one that definitely gives me a lot of trouble. Let's get out of there. Can I actually punish him a bit this way? Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. You know, one of his bursts is okay. Oh. Teleport? Nope. Alright, what are you gonna do, dude? Teleport? No. Yeah, I'm really nervous about wailing on him when he's got his shield up, because timing his counter on that is something that I'm still unable to do consistently. Oh, oof! Okay, that one wasn't quite the counter, but I did time it. Teleport? Yeah. Okay, staggered. Take my time wailing on him. Okay, I don't know if this is the best combo for Diluc, but it seems to work in terms of doing a decent amount of damage for me. I should look it up sometime, what the best one is when he doesn't have his E available. Because I feel like every sword user of a type in this game has some best combo using their auto attacks that involves canceling certain parts of their animations. I feel like most regular sword users, the best DPS is... Oh shit, I shouldn't have used this burst. Yeah, I feel like for most regular sword users, the best DPS is their constantly using their challenge, not challenge, charge attacks. Oof. That thing is... Ah. Okay, so that one was on the game. You might have noticed every once in a while when I play this game, my character, while they're running, suddenly stops running and starts walking. This is an input issue that this game has. I don't know what platforms has it, but it seems fairly common from what I've heard people say. So in that case, I was running and all of a sudden Diluc started walking. And even though I tried to dash it, for whatever reason, I didn't hit the iframe, so I ended up dying. But oh well, that it is what it is. I'm still unable to solo this level 70 using my level 50 Diluc, I guess. I don't know. I still want to try to do it with this Diluc and with an even weaker Diluc eventually, but right now, I guess I'm still not there yet. But it was pretty productive though. I feel like I still managed to learn a decent amount about the fight, which is still interesting to me that I keep learning more about this fight as I keep playing, because I've already played it so much, even before I decided to try this as a challenge. Let's just use this. This is a good default one to use. Well, let me switch characters. But yeah, like I was saying, that it's still interesting to me that I still keep learning more new things about this fight. And that's good, because, like I said, I'm still not there yet in terms of my skill level. So the more I learn, the more like potential increase I have in how good I can get. My goodness, this is awful. This is the worst transmutation result I've ever gotten. Look at that. Holy cow. By far the worst. Has anyone ever gotten anything worse? Yeah, holy wow. Alright, maybe that just means I got my bad luck out of the way. Because I will be doing a poll on the story banner, well, recently because Child has been the main banner, I haven't bothered to pull it. But I usually do the character banner, but on Sundays I do like to do a single poll on a banner. That'll be the story banner. With better quality mats in there. Yeah, I know. I knew there was a rate up for rocks or material or weapon EXP, I guess, if you use rocks. But I also knew that there was RNG. I just didn't expect that, yeah, it would do that. I was expecting some rocks, but I wasn't expecting all rocks, plus a couple Shivada Jade slivers, right? Not even like pieces, slivers. Anyway, I'll end the stream here with one pull of this. I'm pretty happy with, I did get one decent artifact out of it. Not great, but better than what I had, and I'll take that. I'll take that. But let's see what RNGesus has to offer here. So my last pull was a Kea, actually, so I'm at 0 in terms of 4-star pity, and I'm at 10 in terms of 5-star pity. Let's see what I got. Ah, nothing. It's about what I expected. Sharpshooter's Oath. Okay. While I'm at it, can I just... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't need any more of these 3-star weapons. Sharpshooter's Oath is the one I pulled, right? Yeah, I already have 2 of them. I already have that one next. Yeah, I'll just auto add all of these because I'm pretty sure I don't need any more of these 3-star weapons. Alright, I guess I'll call it a stream there. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. It was, well, like I said, I did get a decent artifact out of it. I did do what I needed to do in FGO, which makes me happy because, well, I got the lore, and I even spent a couple lores, so that's good. Probably do some more Pandemic tomorrow, and then, yeah, for 1.5 on Wednesday, I'll do my pulls out for Zhongli, because I know I'll definitely be pulling for Zhongli. Just not sure exactly how many. At least 70. And I'll be pulling right away. So, until next time, I hope everyone has a good rest of the Sunday evening. Good night, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
いつになったら隊長になれるんだ。